Douluo, I am the ice archer, my ice power is invincible. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author, we do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 126 As long as you lingling. After listening to Xiao Han's description, Zhu Qing's face showed an extremely shocked look. She realized that Xiao Han could make such great progress in just a few months, all thanks to the power of the two Dragon Balls. In this world, Xiao Han is probably the only one who can absorb the two Dragon Balls, because only he has the physique with compound conditions. Brother Xiao Han, your experience along the way is thrilling and exciting, it's really amazing. In fact, when I think back on it, I also feel that this journey is full of incredible things. I can only say that my luck is not bad, luck is also a part of strength. The fact that you can tell me this shows that you have regarded me as a true friend. After Zhu Qing finished speaking, her face suddenly changed, and she turned the conversation between the two to the main topic. Brother Xiao Han, the death of the three grandfathers and grandsons of the Jin family has a wide impact, and I have to do it myself. Xiao Han nodded gently. Brother Zhu, the father and son of the Jin family have committed many evil deeds in Xianxia City, and they deserve to die. What exactly happened? Tell me in detail. Okay, then. Xiao Han told Zhu Qing in detail the evil deeds of the father and son of the Jin family and the reasons why he had to do such a cruel thing. After listening to Xiao Han's narration, Zhu Qing couldn't help but frown. The behavior of the father and son of the Jin family was indeed outrageous, but as a baron of the empire, Jin Xian's own status and position were not trivial. Xiao Han's move was undoubtedly a direct challenge to the majesty of the empire. Xiao Han, I understand your difficulties. The father and son of the Jin family did deserve to die, but you killed them directly, which made His Majesty very angry. Zhu Qing's words were a bit helpless. She also wanted to protect Xiao Han, but this matter was very difficult to handle. Recently, the western border of the empire has been harassed by wolf bandits, and the people are suffering. His Majesty is distressed by this. It just so happens that you have caused such a big commotion at this time, which makes him even more angry. Xiao Han heard this, and a glimmer of excitement flashed in his eyes. Brother Zhu, I am willing to go to the western border of the empire to wipe out the wolf bandits. Zhu Qing was stunned for a moment. Do you know about the wolf bandits? Yes. I heard that they are a combination of the wind wolf and humans. They are cruel, cunning, bloodthirsty, and have strong combat effectiveness. Zhu Qing nodded slightly. You are so young, but you know a lot. The two empires have sent troops to encircle and suppress the wolf bandits. The Spirit Hall even sent a legion of soul masters, but they did not eliminate them all. They are too cunning. Leave it to me, I have my own way. Xiao Han knew that the leader of the wolf bandits had a soul bone. Although they were powerful and cruel, he had enough confidence to deal with them. Zhu Qing was thoughtful, and a relieved smile appeared on his face. Brother Xiao Han, do you really want to go and destroy the wolf bandits? Of course. That's a good idea. You lead people to destroy the wolf bandits. As long as you can kill them, even if you can't destroy them all, it will be a great achievement, and maybe you can make up for your mistakes. If you can completely destroy them, it won't be a problem to be promoted to an official position or a noble title. Xiao Han waved his hand disapprovingly. I don't care about the official title of the empire, I just don't want to make things difficult for you. Besides, destroying the wolf bandits is just like killing the father and son of the Jin family. It is the responsibility of soul masters like us to eliminate harm for the people. Zhu Qing was even happier. Brother Xiao Han, you are thoughtful. As far as I know, there are hundreds of wolf bandits, which should not be underestimated. However, I fully believe in your ability. If you really want to go, I can arrange for you. This time, I want to catch them all in one fell swoop. If too many people go, it will easily alert the enemy. I plan to take my 7 sisters with me, just 8 of you. Xiao Han nodded confidently, and then said, if you are worried, lend me one person. What person? Our team is short of a healer. It would be great if Yi Lingling could go with us. I heard that she has a strong group healing ability. Are you referring to the 9-hearted Begonia Soul Master of the Royal Academy team? Exactly. Don't worry, I will ensure her safety. Zhu Qing thought for a while and said, I will report to His Majesty when I go back. This should be feasible. Wait for my news, okay? Zhu Qing chatted with Xiao Han for a while, and then left the Xiao mansion. After Gu Qingbo absorbed the soul bone, his soul power increased by 1 level. Xiao Han told a few people what he had talked about with Zhu King, and briefly described the wolf bandits to them. The girls were very excited to learn that they were going to encircle and suppress the wolf bandits. It is a very meaningful thing to suppress the wolf bandits and eliminate harm for the people. Yes, we can finally fight together again. It would be great if that powerful healer could go with us, Xiao Han said. The strength of the wolf bandits should not be underestimated. They may be more brutal and cunning than we think. For us, this is an opportunity to exercise in a huge challenge. This time, I want to eradicate them completely. Well, we can definitely do it. Then let's wait for good news from His Royal Highness the Crown Prince. The girls all believed in Xiao Han. With Xiao Han around, they had nothing to fear. Zhu King returned to Xiandao City and told Emperor Ziyi about Xiao Han's idea. Emperor Ziyi was very happy and agreed to this matter. He said that if Xiao Han could successfully suppress the wolf bandits, not only would he not be held responsible for killing the 3 Jin family grandfathers and grandsons, but he would also reward them heavily. After all, the wolf bandits were too much of a headache. Dealing with them was time-consuming, labor-intensive, and costly, but had little effect. Emperor Ziyi hoped that someone could completely eliminate them. Xiao Han offered to go, which was exactly what he wanted. Zhu King found Yi Lingling and told her about Xiao Han's idea. Yi Lingling agreed without thinking too much. Afterwards, Zhu King ordered someone to send Yi Lingling to Xianxia City. Xiao Han received news from Zhu King in advance that Yi Lingling would come. During this time, Shui Binger and others lived in Xiao Mansion to prepare for the trip. Yi Lingling finally arrived. Shui Binger and others went out with Xiao Han to greet her. Yi Lingling got off the carriage. She was slender, wearing a black dress, with a layer of black veil on her face, and a waterfall of long blue hair draped behind her, giving people a cool feeling. Seeing Xiao Han and the others, Yi Lingling lifted her veil and said softly, "Hello, I'm Yi Lingling, and I'm very happy to be with you all." While Yi Lingling was speaking, her eyes did not reveal any emotion. From her, one could feel a strong sense of loneliness and desolation. Knowing that it was very dangerous to encircle and suppress the wolf bandits, she was still willing to go. Everyone admired her. Shui Binger stepped forward, enthusiastically took Yi Lingling's hand, and smiled. "Lingling, I'm glad you can come in." Chapter 127, Spirit Evolution. The 9-heart begonia martial soul is the least numerous martial soul on the entire continent. It is passed down from one lineage to another. There are only 2 9-heart begonia soul masters alive at the same time. Although they have powerful healing abilities, their fate is like a curse. The appearance of a 9-heart begonia soul master means that the life of another 9-heart begonia soul master has come to an end. Yi Lingling was also unable to escape the shackles of fate. When she awakened the 9-heart begonia martial soul, her grandmother died. Therefore, since the year she awakened the 9-heart begonia martial soul and lost her grandmother, a shadow has been cast on her heart, and she is unwilling to communicate with others. Xiao Han once mentioned Yi Lingling to Shui Binger and others, so they also knew the fate of the 9-heart begonia clan. Seeing Yi Lingling, Shui Binger was very enthusiastic, like a friend. Yi Lingling entered the mansion with everyone. Xiao Han introduced the sisters to her one by one, and then asked Shui Binger to take her back to her room to rest. After dinner, Xiao Han and Shui Binger went to Yi Lingling's room together. "How is it? Are you used to it?" "Fortunately, it's the same everywhere. We should be able to set off soon, right?" "Yes. The wolf bandits are extremely brutal and cunning, and it is even life-threatening to deal with them. I didn't expect you to agree so readily. I also want to do my best to do something for the people who have been harmed by the wolf bandits. But I can't help much, I can only provide you with treatment." Shui Binger smiled and said, "Lingling, that's enough. You are so important to our team, and your role is irreplaceable." Binger is right. "By the way, what level is your soul power now?" Yi Lingling was stunned for a moment, and replied, "My soul power is only level 39, and I am at the bottleneck of breaking through level 40. Compared with you, it's far behind." Shui Binger took over the conversation. "Lingling, to be honest, the reason why our soul power can be improved so quickly is all because of Xiao Han." Yi Lingling looked at Xiao Han with some curiosity, always feeling that the young man in front of him seemed to have some kind of magical power. Xiao Han then asked, "I heard that no matter how many soul rings you 9-heart begonia soul masters have, you only have one area healing skill." "Yes, that's right. The healing ability depends on our own strength and intentions. If you have one more soul ring, your healing ability will be greatly improved. That's right. The healing ability will increase with the increase of soul power. Every time we cross a level, our healing ability will be improved by a realm. Yi Lingling suddenly thought of something. You don't want to wait until my soul power breaks through level 40 and obtains the 4th soul ring before encircling and suppressing the wolf bandits. Xiao Han nodded slightly. Yi Lingling immediately rejected the idea and said, no need to wait for me. I still have some time to break through level 40. The sooner we set out to deal with the wolf bandits, the less suffering the people on the border will suffer. Shui Binger took Yi Lingling's arm and smiled. Lingling, you are too kind. However, you think too much? Xiao Han can help you break through level 40 right now. Now, Yi Lingling looked at Xiao Han with disbelief on her face. I can indeed help you break through immediately. And maybe even help you evolve your martial spirit. After Xiao Han finished speaking, he took out the Kilo tulip from the soul guide. This strange plant immediately attracted Yi Lingling's attention. Its roots and leaves were all covered with vines, finely combed, and on the top was a golden tulip. The rich fragrance emanating from it instantly filled the entire room. The rich fragrance gave people a sense of magnificence. Yi Lingling asked curiously, what is this? This thing is called Kilo tulip. It is a top-grade fairy grass. Taking it can absorb the essence of heaven and earth, the light of the sun and the moon, which is very suitable for your 9-hearted begonia martial soul. I give it to you. After taking it, your soul power can be improved by at least 5 levels. 5 levels? Yi Lingling was shocked and couldn't believe that this flower had such a magical effect. Shui Binger said, Lingling, several of us have taken the fairy grass given by Xiao Han, so our soul power will be improved so quickly. This is a top-grade fairy grass. It will definitely bring you a lot of improvement. Yi Lingling still found it incredible. Xiao Han, such a precious fairy grass, are you really going to give it to me? Of course. It suits you very well, but we just met. It doesn't matter how long you have known each other. You are willing to take the risk to go with us, so you are already a member of our team. After Xiao Han finished speaking, he handed the Kilo tulip to Yi Lingling. Take it. When you take it, you need to gently inhale the pistol, slowly absorb the essence into the body, and then circulate the soul power slowly, so that the medicinal effect spreads throughout the meridians of the body. Yi Lingling was very moved. Although she had only known Xiao Han and Shui Binger for 1 day, she felt their sincerity and kindness, and experienced the warmth between friends. Her cold heart was gradually melted as if a warm current flowed through it. Yi Lingling carefully took the Kilo tulip and said softly, Xiao Han, thank you, you're welcome. You should be older than me, right? If you don't mind, you can call me Xiao Han like Binger and the others. Yes, okay, take it as soon as possible, we'll wait for you outside. After Xiao Han and Shui Binger left, Yi Lingling sat down and took the Kilo tulip. Time passed by minute. When Yi Lingling woke up again, it was already late at night. She was surprised to find that the soul power surging in her body was more powerful than before. The bottleneck that was originally blocked at level 40 was actually broken through. There was even a faint trend of continuing to climb, but it was limited by the lack of the 4th soul ring, and could not show a specific level. What shocked her even more was that her 9-heart begonia martial soul had changed. Just as Xiao Han said, the magical effect of Kilo tulip not only brought an increase in soul power, but also allowed her martial soul to evolve. Yi Lingling stood up and gently pushed open the door. The moonlight sprinkled on her face, reflecting an unprecedented confidence. Seeing this, Xiao Han and Shui Binger immediately came up and asked with concern, Lingling, how is it? How do you feel? It's amazing. My soul power has broken through level 40, and my martial soul has really evolved. Xiao Han nodded with relief. Kilo tulip really has magical effects. What has your martial soul evolved into? Let me show you. A layer of rich golden light was released from Yi Lingling, with a strong scent of tulips. Then, she stretched out her right hand and released her martial soul. The crabapple blossom quietly floating above her palm exudes a faint golden luster, and each petal seems to contain endless vitality. Chapter 128, Enemies Meet on a Narrow Road, Seize the Soul Bone. Seeing this scene, Xiao Han and Shui Binger were both shocked. Yi Lingling's martial soul, the 9-heart begonia, originally looked like a pink begonia flower, composed of white and pink petals. But at this time, the begonia flower had completely turned golden, releasing a rich golden light and a sacred aura. Looking at the golden begonia flower, Yilingling couldn't suppress her inner excitement, and her eyes flashed with tears. My martial soul actually evolved into a sacred heart begonia. Sacred heart begonia. Xiao Han and Shui Binger were both a little puzzled. Yilingling calmed down, poured away her martial soul, and explained to Xiao Han and Shui Binger, Sacred Heart Begonia is the highest realm that our 9 Heart Begonia Soul Masters can reach. It is rumored in the clan that only when the soul power breaks through level 90 can the martial soul evolve to such a realm. However, this is almost an impossible task. Because there are too few of our 9 Heart Begonia Soul Masters, there can only be 2 alive at the same time. The appearance of a 9 Heart Begonia Soul Master means the disappearance of another Soul Master. Moreover, we are healers, and our cultivation speed is much slower than that of ordinary Soul Masters. This makes it difficult for us to impact the unattainable level 90 mark in a limited time. Xiao Han and Shui Binger smiled at each other, and they were both happy for Yilingling. Shui Binger asked, Lingling, your martial soul has evolved into the Sacred Heart Begonia. Will your destiny be changed because of this? Yes, Yilingling smiled and nodded, then continued, after the 9 Heart Begonia martial soul evolves into the Sacred Heart Begonia, it no longer has to follow the constraints of the 9 Heart Begonia clan. I never thought that I would be able to experience this legendary evolution firsthand. Xiao Han, thank you for giving me the Kilo Tulip. It not only enhanced my soul power, but also made my martial soul evolve and changed the fate of me and my mother. Yilingling's tone was full of gratitude to Xiao Han. Xiao Han was a little confused. Did your mother's fate change because of this? That's right. Originally, as long as a 9-hearted begonia soul master appeared among my descendants, my mother would disappear. Therefore, I have long been prepared to remain single for life. I want the cursed fate of the 9-hearted begonia clan to end with me. Now, my martial soul has evolved into the Sacred Heart Begonia, and my mother is the only 9-hearted begonia soul master left. Our clan is a single-line inheritance, and there will be no successors from now on. It ends here. After hearing this, Shui Binger's eyes were full of amazement. Lingling, this is incredible. Not only have you broken the shackles of fate, but you have also created a miracle for the 9-hearted begonia clan. Xiao Han, your magic grass is really amazing. It has changed the fate of the 9-hearted begonia clan. Xiao Han smiled slightly. I'm also very happy. It can change Lingling's fate. Then we will set off tomorrow and go to Xingdao Great Forest to help Lingling hunt soul beasts and help her obtain the 4th soul ring. Okay. Sister Harao is at the bottleneck of level 50. Maybe she will break through soon. Maybe she can help her obtain the soul ring then. Well, it's getting late. It's time to rest. We will set off early tomorrow morning to hunt soul beasts in Xingdao Great Forest. Okay. Early the next morning, after Xiao Han and Lin Zhiruo said goodbye, a group of 9 people set off from Xianshu City and headed for Xingdao Great Forest. 10 days later, the group arrived at their destination. After this period of hard training, Yu Harao successfully broke through the barrier of level 50 and could obtain her first 10,000-year soul ring. Xiao Han first helped Yu Harao find a suitable 10,000-year soul beast and helped her kill it. After obtaining the soul ring, Yu Harao's soul power increased by 1 level to level 51. Next, they helped Yilingling hunt soul beasts. After absorbing the soul ring, Yilingling's soul power directly reached level 47, catching up with Chu Rushu and Shen Liuyu. Kilo Tulip helped Yilingling improve her soul power by several levels. After obtaining the 4th soul ring, her healing ability was further improved. Xiao Han's destination is the western border of the Xiandao Empire, where it borders the Xingluo Empire. In order to save time, Xiao Han plans to take his sisters through the Xingluo Great Forest. The Xingluo Great Forest is located at the intersection of the Xiandao and Xingluo Empires, half of which is in the Xiandao Empire and the other half is in the Xingluo Empire. At this time, on the other side, in the southwest direction of the forest, Davis and his party are exploring the center of the forest. In the Soul Master competition a few months ago, the Xingluo royal team led by Davis lost to the Xianshu Academy team. After returning, he practiced hard and finally broke through level 50. With the help of his teacher Zhou Yucheng and several guardians, he obtained his first 10,000-year soul ring. The Xingluo royal family has its own royal hunting ground, which contains many soul beasts under 30,000 years old. However, Zhou Yucheng had just broken through to level 80, so Davis came with him to the Xingdao Great Forest to hunt soul beasts. Zhou Yuchen's goal was to hunt a soul beast with a cultivation level of more than 50,000 years to make his 8th soul ring. As the group was walking, a man in black suddenly came to report. Your Highness, a group of people are approaching us. Did you see who they are? I saw through the telescope that there are 9 people in the group, a man with 8 women. They are all very young, no more than 20 years old. A man in a group of women? They are all young people. Davis suddenly thought of something, and his eyes became fierce. Could it be them? Weiss, what's wrong? Do you know them? It might be the people from the Xianshu Academy team, the Xianshu Academy team that defeated us in the Soul Master competition. Davis nodded. Yes, it could be them. Zhou Yuchen suddenly became excited and asked the man in black, are you sure? There are only 9 of them, sir. We have looked carefully and confirmed that there are only 9 of them. Very good. Weiss, let's go and have a look. Davis and Zhou Yuchen smiled at each other, and they understood each other tacitly. They knew that the 3 soul bones awarded as the champion of the Soul Master competition eventually fell into the hands of several people from the Xianshu Academy team. They also heard that Xiao Han's strength is no longer what it used to be, and he caused a huge commotion in Xianshu City. However, they are not afraid. Including several black-clothed secret guards, there are a total of 15 people on this trip. Including 2 Soul Douluo level great protectors, and Zhou Yuchen is about to become a Soul Douluo. Except for Davis, the others are masters above the Soul Emperor level. They believe that this team is more than enough to kill Xiao Han and his group. Following the black-clothed secret guard, Davis saw Xiao Han and his group through a telescope, and was surprised. Teacher, it is indeed them. What a narrow road for enemies. Let's go and kill them and avenge our previous shame. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 129, Killing Contra in Seconds. Xiao Han and his group of 9 were walking along the trail in the Xingdao Great Forest. The rich smell of grass and trees mixed with the fragrance of soil was refreshing. However, this tranquility did not last long. Suddenly, a subtle fluctuation of soul power surged in the air. Although this fluctuation was subtle, it still aroused Xiao Han's vigilance. Everyone be careful, stop moving forward, something is happening, Xiao Han shouted in a low voice, his eyes instantly became sharp. Schwabinger and others also paused, and became alert. They surrounded Xiao Han and formed a defensive formation. At this moment, figures suddenly flashed out from the shadows of the forest. It was Davis and his group. Their faces were stern, and the soul power fluctuations emanating from their bodies were powerful and suppressed, like a group of cheetahs lurking in the dark, ready to strike at the right time. Haha, it's really a painstaking effort to find it. Xiao Han, we finally meet again, Davis laughed, with a hint of coldness in his voice, as if he had seen the dawn of victory. Xiao Han's eyes were like torches, scanning the other party, and he could sense their strong hostility. At a glance, among the dozen people on the other side, the strongest were the 3 white-haired old men. Their auras were steady and deep, and they were obviously strong soul fighters. However, Xiao Han could feel that their soul power did not exceed level 85. The other 10 were masters above the Soul Emperor level. Davis, the weakest, had a soul power of more than level 50. Compared with them, the overall strength of Xiao Han and his team was much worse. However, Xiao Han was not afraid at all and stood at the front of the team. The corner of his mouth curled up with a sneer. Davis, from what you said, you are looking for me. Davis also sneered. I heard that the 3 soul bones awarded by the Soul Master competition champion are in your hands. I also heard that your current strength is far from what it used to be. But, the girls around you are not as strong as you. If you know what's good for you, hand over the soul bones obediently, and I will let you go. Otherwise, none of you will leave this forest alive today. I didn't expect you to be so eager to die for a few soul bones. To tell you the truth, the soul bones are with me, come and get them if you have the ability. Before Xiao Han finished speaking, he released his martial soul and prepared for battle. Schwabinger and others also set up their formations and released their own martial souls, surrounding Zhu Wu and Ye Lingling, who had the weakest combat power, in the middle. Zhou Yucheng stood beside Davis, his eyes flashing with greed and disdain. Xiao Han, don't think you can be arrogant just because you killed a Soul Douluo. With so many of us, you can't fly away even if you have wings. Today is your death, humph. It's still unknown who will win. You are too confident, Xiao Han responded calmly, with a calm face. The atmosphere instantly became tense, the air seemed to solidify, and the battle between the two sides was about to break out. Do it, Davis gave an order, and the people behind him immediately dispersed and approached Xiao Han and his group from all directions. Xiao Han's eyes condensed, the soul power in his body boiled, and a faint blue light flashed on his left arm. The defense skill of the 100,000-year left arm soul bone was instantly activated. A cold blue light spread rapidly with him as the center, instantly condensing the surrounding air into ice, forming an ice barrier, protecting his teammates firmly inside. The ice barrier was integrated with the power of the dark demon evil god tiger, turning into blue-gray color, looking even more indestructible. Then, Xiao Han's figure suddenly rose. With a sudden flash of the fifth soul ring on his body, the fifth soul skill blizzard arrow was launched. In the sky, a sudden strong wind blew, and an ice and snowstorm formed instantly, with a biting cold, instantly turning the forest within 100 meters into a world of ice and snow. The blizzard also incorporated the power of the dark demon evil god tiger and the wind element, adding a bit of mystery and evil, and doubling its power. The storm changed from light blue to deep dark blue, looking even more terrifying. The ice and snow blades were dense like rain, spinning at high speed, hindering the offensive of Davis and his team. Damn it, Davis roared, trying to escape from this land of death. However, the ice and snowstorm greatly restricted his actions, and every step seemed extremely difficult. The soul masters trapped in the ice and snowstorm opened their own defenses to resist the cutting attacks of the ice and snow blades. They didn't expect that Xiao Han's 10,000-year soul skill would have such a terrifying power. Xiao Han became even more angry. Davis, you asked for it. The fourth soul skill, Ice Explosion Arrow, was launched instantly. A streak of ice blue light went straight to Davis. Your Highness, be careful. Bang! With a loud bang, a soul Douluo level guardian beside Davis was hit by the arrow. Even though he activated his defense, his body was still blown apart and turned into a ball of blood mist. The powerful impact made the surrounding ice and snow tremble. Davis was blown away more than 10 meters, and his face changed drastically. The soul Douluo blocked an arrow for him, paid a heavy price, and died because of it. It's your turn, Xiao Han snorted coldly, and his spirit skull and right arm soul bone were activated at the same time. The sixth soul ring on his body suddenly flashed, and the sixth soul skill high explosive penetration was instantly released. The arrow with terrifying penetrating power turned into an invisible arrow and flew towards another soul Douluo level guardian at a high speed. The soul Douluo was protecting Davis with Zhou Yuchen, but was hit on the forehead by the invisible arrow without any warning and died instantly. In a thrilling moment, Xiao Han killed the two soul Douluo level guardians cleanly and neatly with strength beyond everyone's imagination. This scene made the enemies present dumbfounded, and Davis and Zhou Yuchen were completely panicked. They could never have imagined that Xiao Han's strength had become so terrifying after just a few months of not seeing each other. Your Highness, leave. Zhou Yuchen's voice was filled with despair and eagerness. He underestimated Xiao Han's strength and knew that staying here would only lead to death. Zhou Yuchen's soul power suddenly burst out, and a powerful force was instantly applied to Davis, trying to use this power to send him out of this area that had been tightly blocked by the ice and snow cage. However, Xiao Han had already seen through their intentions. Want to run? Not that easy, Xiao Han shouted angrily. The second soul skill, 10,000 arrows, was launched. With a weapon soul true body and the left and right arm soul bones activated at the same time, this 1,000-year soul skill seemed to have the power of a 10,000-year soul skill. Countless ice arrows condensed from the ultimate ice shot out, pouring down on the enemies in the ice storm like dense raindrops. At the same time, Shui Binger and Zhu Wu behind Xiao Han also quickly completed the martial soul fusion skill, Ice and Snow Drifting. Chapter 130 Killing Davis, Bibi Dong's Wishful Thinking. Under Shui Binger's control, the sharp snowflake blades cut towards the enemy like a violent storm, with a chill that penetrated a bone marrow. The snowflake blades drew beautiful arcs in the air, and wherever they went, the enemy's body was cut into pieces. Under the intensive attack of ice arrows and snowflake blades, screams came one after another. Davis fell into a pool of blood without exception. Another ice explosion arrow shot out, hitting Zhou Yuchen and blasting him to pieces. Xiao Han did not restrain his soul power until he could no longer feel the enemy's breath. After the battle, the forest gradually returned to calm, and the air was filled with a faint smell of blood and coldness. At this moment, Xiao Han suddenly felt a trace of soul power fluctuations gradually fading away. Thinking that it might be a dark guard lurking in the distance, he did not chase. Worried about the safety of Shuibinger and the others, Xiao Han maxed out his status at the beginning of the battle, aiming directly at the two strongest soldados and killing them in the shortest possible time. After killing Davis and his group, Xiao Han did not immediately relax his vigilance. He opened his spiritual skull and followed the direction where the soul power fluctuation disappeared. He was relieved after confirming that there was no potential threat. "Are you all okay?" Shuibinger shook her head gently. "We are fine," Yu Harao exclaimed. "Xiao Han, you are really too strong." "The series of attacks just now were simply incredible," Shuibinger also echoed. "Yes, our junior brother is really powerful now." Yu Harao, Shuibinger and the others had only heard Shuibinger and Shen Liuai mention Xiao Han's current strength, but after witnessing this battle with their own eyes, they still couldn't help but exclaimed. Shuibinger was a little worried. Davis, as the eldest prince of the Xingluo Empire, is likely to become the crown prince. If we kill him, it may lead to the crazy revenge of the Xingluo emperor, and may even cause a war between the two empires. Shuibinger pouted and said, "Sister, those people have evil intentions towards us and covet our soul bones. They deserve to die. If it weren't for Xiao Han's strong strength, we would be the ones dead now." "That's right. This is the rule of the Soul Master world. The strong survive. They are not strong enough, so it's not our fault. This matter may not necessarily develop into such serious consequences. After all, Davis and his motives for this trip are not pure. If the Xingluo Emperor wants to hold them accountable, he must first find out the truth of the matter." Xiao Han smiled and said, "Don't worry. There are constant conflicts between the two empires, and the war will break out sooner or later. If the Xingluo Emperor really wants to go to war because of this, then we will fight him." Shuibinger looked at Xiao Han with admiration. "Xiao Han is right, we can't be bullied and not dare to resist." Xiao Han looked around. "Okay, let's deal with the battlefield and leave this troubled place as soon as possible." Xiao Han used cold fire to turn the bodies of those people into ashes. Afterwards, the group quickly left the Xingdao Great Forest and headed west on the other side. Xingluo Empire, the Imperial Palace. Upon learning that Davis and his group were killed in the Xingdao Great Forest, the Xingluo Emperor was furious. His hands clenched into fists. His eyes flashed with a cold light, and the entire palace seemed to be shrouded in his anger. "Xiao Han! What is Xiao Han? How dare you kill my son and the Douluo level great protector? I will definitely cut him into pieces," the Xingluo Emperor roared, and his voice echoed in the palace, shaking the guards on both sides. The ministers on the side looked at each other, and no one dared to step forward to talk. They knew that the balance between the two empires might be broken because of this incident. At this moment, the Xingluo Emperor was angry, and any inappropriate words could become the fuse that angered him. "Immediately send people to the Xingdao Great Forest to arrest Xiao Han and his group," Xingluo Emperor issued an order. Soon, a team of elite soul masters was urgently dispatched to the Xingdao Great Forest. Xingluo Emperor knew that Xiao Han and his group might have left. However, he wanted to find Davis's body and not let his son be buried in the wild. Among the princes of the Xingluo Empire, Davis and Daimyubei were the strongest. They were competitors for the position of crown prince. In the Soul Master competition, the two did not compete head-on. Coincidentally, they both lost to the same person, Xiao Han. The two brothers hated Xiao Han and vowed to avenge their previous shame. So, when Davis happened to meet Xiao Han and his group in the Xingdao Forest, he made up his mind to get rid of Xiao Han. As long as he got rid of Xiao Han and took Xiao Han's soul bone, he would be in a more advanced position in the competition for the position of crown prince. Unexpectedly, he would die because of this. The biggest beneficiary of Davis' death was Daimyubei. It is almost certain that Daimyubei will be made the crown prince soon. Daimyubei was happy about this, but at the same time he also felt it was a shame. Xiao Han killed his brother, which made him hate him even more. He silently swore in his heart that he must get rid of Xiao Han and avenge himself and Davis. The people sent by Emperor Xingluo soon arrived at the scene of the accident. However, they did not find Davis' body, but only some bone fragments, and they could not tell whose they belonged to. After Emperor Xingluo learned about it, he became even more angry. He made the matter public, pushed Xiao Han to the forefront, and put pressure on Emperor Zhu to ask for an explanation. However, he did not disclose the real cause of Davis' death. Xianshu College. After Lin Zhiruo learned about this, she was a little worried about Xiao Han. Dean Zhao said, "I never thought that Xiao Han would kill Davis, the eldest prince of the Xingluo Empire. However, there must be a reason for everything, and we can't just listen to their words. I believe that Xiao Han and Binger will not do anything reckless. This matter may not be that simple. Well, we can only find out the truth of the matter when Xiao Han comes back. Fortunately, they are not in Xianshu City now. Apart from you and me, only Emperor Zhu Yi and His Royal Highness the Crown Prince know where they are. I think they should be almost to the western border. Xiao Han has such a strong strength, maybe he can really wipe out a group of vicious wolf bandits. I also believe that they can do it." Wuhan City, Pope's Palace. Upon learning that Xiao Han killed Davis, the eldest prince of the Xingluo Empire, Bibi Dong's face showed an intriguing smile. "Xiao Han, you are getting more and more arrogant. It's been less than a month since you caused such a big commotion in Xianshu City, and you killed the eldest prince of Xingluo and offended the two emperors. Now, let me see how you will explain it." "Good. Very good. If the two empires go to war because of the trouble you caused, it will be even better. When they are both defeated, I can reap the benefits, haha." Chapter 131, Killing the Wolf Bandits. After a month of long journey, Xiao Han and his group of 9 finally arrived at the western border of the Xiandao Empire. It was getting dark, and they found a small village to rest temporarily. This place is close to the border of the Xingluo Empire, and it is a place where wolf bandits often appear. When the villagers saw the arrival of this group of young soul masters and learned their purpose, they all gathered around. Several respected soul masters, "Are you really here to deal with the wolf bandits?" asked an old man with the vicissitudes of life. The villagers were all surprised. After all, they all looked very young, and 8 of the 9 people in the group were beautiful girls. Xiao Han nodded. "We heard that there are wolf bandits causing trouble here, so we came here to deal with this matter. Don't worry, old man. Since we are here, we naturally have the confidence and strength to deal with the wolf bandits. May I ask, old man, have there been any wolf bandits around here recently?" "Just a few days ago, the wolf bandits attacked again. However, they attacked a nearby village and suffered heavy losses. Many people died and their livestock were also stolen. Therefore, in recent times, the nearby villages have strengthened their vigilance and patrol soldiers have come more frequently." Xiao Han nodded and continued to ask, "Then how many of them were there when they appeared last time?" "About 30 or 40. They move quickly and are extremely ferocious. They appear in groups every time," the old man said slowly. "Do you know where they are hiding?" The old man pointed to a large mountain shrouded in mist behind the village. "They are hiding in that big mountain. The mountains span the border between Xiandao and Xingluo. The mountains are steep and the terrain is complex. Wolf bandits often roam along the border between the two countries, and once they are chased, they will quickly flee into the mountains." "Have the two countries sent troops to kill them recently?" "They have, but they all returned in vain. Those wolf bandits are too cunning and are familiar with the terrain in the mountains. Moreover, they move quickly, coming and going like the wind, and are difficult to catch," the old man said with a trembling voice. "Not only can they kill people, they can also eat people. Their fighting power is extremely strong, even spirit masters are no match for them. That group of wolf bandits has caused headaches for both countries. But because it involves border issues, both countries are unwilling to spend too much effort to deal with this matter, just pretending." The old man slowed down and continued, "It is rumored that there are 3 leaders in that group of wolf bandits, all of whom are extremely strong. They are twice as big as ordinary wolf bandits, with green hair all over their bodies, blood-red eyes, sharp fangs, and are very scary. Most people who have seen them have died. Wolf bandits are a combination of wind demon wolves and humans. They have the ferocity and agility of wind demon wolves and the wisdom of humans. You must not underestimate their power." Xiao Han nodded thoughtfully. It was indeed the wolf bandit group led by the 3 green-haired wolf bandits. "Thank you for telling me, old man. It's getting late, we want to stay in the village for a night. I wonder if it's okay." "Of course. I'll take you to rest now," the old man said, leading the way. Xiao Han and his party followed the old man to a spacious courtyard. "You guys stay here. I'll ask someone to prepare some food." The old man left after saying that. Xiao Han, Shui Binger and others simply packed up. Xiao Han, how do you plan to deal with a group of wolf bandits? Shui Binger asked. They move quickly and are familiar with the terrain. It's obviously not a good idea to go directly to the mountains to find them. Xiao Han smiled slightly. Why don't we use ourselves as bait to lure them out and catch them all in one fell swoop? Use ourselves as bait. Don't worry, I have an idea. The next morning, Xiao Han and his party entered the mountains. In the next few days, they did not go deep into the mountains, but moved around at the foot of the mountain and found an open area. Xiao Han took out a fragrant kilo fairy product that exuded a strong fragrance from the soul guide. The wolf bandits have the blood of the wind demon wolf and are extremely sensitive to smells. The fragrance of this fragrant kilo fairy product should be able to attract them, Xiao Han said, and gently placed the fairy grass on the stone. We just need to wait for them to take the bait. Sure enough, not long after, a rustling sound came from the depths of the forest. Soon, several figures rushed out from the bushes. They were several wolf bandits. They were nearly 2 meters tall, covered with green hair, and their blood-red eyes exuded a bloodthirsty light. Their sharp fangs were exposed, looking extremely ferocious and terrifying. When the wolf bandits discovered the presence of humans, they immediately let out a fierce roar and pounced on Xiao Han and his group. Xiao Han sneered, and the fifth soul ring on his body suddenly flashed. The fifth soul skill, Blizzard Arrow. An ice arrow was shot out, and a huge ice and snow vortex was formed on the field. The vortex was integrated with the power of the dark demon evil god Tiger and turned into deep dark blue. The movements of several wolf bandits were immediately restricted and trapped in the ice and snow vortex. They struggled to escape, but were eroded by the cold and their movements became slow. Shui Binger and others also took action. Shui Yuir and Gu Qingbo were as fast as lightning. The ice blades in their hands flashed, leaving wounds on the wolf bandits. Bang! A wolf bandit was knocked out and fell heavily on the rocks. It struggled to get up, but was hit by an ice arrow from Xiao Han and died on the spot. The remaining wolf bandits became even more crazy when they saw their companions die. Their eyes were bloodshot, their bodies were tense, and they were even willing to pounce on Xiao Han and his group at the cost of their injuries. Xiao Han kept changing positions, and the ice arrows at high speeds poured down like a meteor shower. The ice arrows were extremely cold and shot the wolf bandits one after another. However, Xiao Han deliberately let one go. The wolf bandit was wounded and staggered away into the depths of the forest. Xiao Han, why did you let it go? Shui Yuir was a little confused. Xiao Han smiled slightly. Wolf bandits are cruel and will take revenge. The injured wolf bandit will definitely send the news back. At that time, the entire wolf bandit group will be out. This is a good way to lure them out. Xiao Han looked around. The terrain here is open, suitable for us to set up a formation. When the wolf bandits attack later, we will act according to the plan. Then, Xiao Han explained his plan in detail to several people. Not long after, waves of wolf howls came from the depths of the forest. They are coming. Xiao Han's eyes condensed. In the howling mountain wind, dense footsteps were heard. One after another, wolf bandits emerged from the forest, and their blood-red eyes looked particularly ferocious in the sun. There were hundreds of them, rushing over in a mighty manner. Several people quickly entered combat mode. Xiao Han took the lead in launching an attack. Shui Binger and Zhu Wu cooperated to perform ice and snow piling to restrict and kill the wolf bandits. Gu Qingbo, Shen Liuyu, Shui Yuir, and Xu Rushu shuttled among the wolf bandits and took the opportunity to attack them. Under Yu Harao's protection, Yi Lingling is always ready to provide treatment to everyone. Chapter 132 Bloodthirsty and Frenzy Soulbone. With the tacit cooperation of several people, the first batch of wolf bandits were quickly killed. Then another batch came. At the front of the wolf pack, there were 3 wolf bandits with extremely tall bodies. They were more than 2 meters and 5 meters tall, and their green hair glowed like metal in the sun. The 3 wolf bandits' eyes flashed with bloodthirsty red light, and their sharp fangs protruded outward, looking extremely fierce. Their aura was obviously much stronger than other wolf bandits, and they were obviously their leaders. Xiao Han's eyes condensed, and the 7th soul ring on his body suddenly flashed. The Xianbing bow and arrow in his hand instantly enlarged, emitting a chilling blue light. The spirit skull and the right arm soul bone were opened at the same time. Everyone acted according to the plan. Xiao Han stood in the front, and the 100,000-year soul ring bloomed with a heart-pounding blood-red light. Seeing this, the wolf bandits did not dare to act rashly. But there were so many of them, and looking at the beauties, everyone's blood was boiling and ready to move. Under Xiao Han's shock, Shui Binger and Zuru immediately released their martial souls and began to perform martial soul fusion skills. Ice and Snow Piaoling was activated. Pieces of sharp snowflake blades circled and danced in the air, covering the wolf bandits with a biting cold. The wolf bandits were affected by the ice and snowstorm and became restless. The 3 wolf bandit leaders showed amazing strength. They were covered with a layer of green light, and they were able to withstand the cutting attack of the ice and snowstorm. Roar! The 3 wolf bandits roared at the same time, and their soul power fluctuated strongly. Their aura actually reached the level of Soul Emperor. Xiao Han was not careless, and the ice-freezing skill of the left arm soul bone was activated instantly. A layer of solid ice spread from the ground, trying to freeze the 3 wolf bandit leaders. But they reacted very quickly, jumped up, and avoided this fatal freeze. Then they rushed towards Xiao Han and his group separately. The rest of the wolf bandits also ignored the restrictions of the ice and snowstorm and rushed over frantically. Yu Harao, Shen Liu, Shui Yuer and others quickly shuttled through the wolf pack, using their own soul skills to continuously attack the wolf bandits. However, there were many wolf bandits, and they were fearless. Even though they were seriously injured, they still rushed towards them one after another. The powerful strength, extremely fast speed and sharp claws caused a lot of trouble for several people. Fortunately, Yilingling's sacred heart begonia played a powerful healing effect. The golden healing light enveloped several people, and the injured parts healed quickly, allowing them to continue fighting. Xiao Han fought fiercely with the 3 wolf bandit leaders. The speed of the wolf bandit leaders was extremely fast, far exceeding that of ordinary soul emperors. They seemed to have turned into 3 green afterimages, attacking Xiao Han from different directions. The sharp claws cut through the air, making a sharp sound of breaking through the air. Xiao Han looked around, shuttled flexibly in the air, and while taking care of his teammates, he continuously shot ice arrows to attack the wolf bandits. The 3 wolf bandit leaders were indeed the leaders of the entire wolf pack. They were not only fast, but also extremely powerful. They could even catch the ice arrows shot by Xiao Han with their bare hands. I underestimated you. Xiao Han's eyes condensed, and the 4th soul ring on his body suddenly flashed. The 4th soul skill, Ice Explosion Arrow. This time, Xiao Han did not aim at the wolf bandit leaders, but at the ground under their feet. Boom! The arrow exploded the moment it touched the ground, and the powerful shock wave mixed with countless ice crystals spread around. Although the wolf bandit leaders avoided the direct impact, they were still scratched by the ice crystals. The blue hair on their bodies was dyed red. Xiao Han did not give them a chance to breathe, and the 5th soul ring on his body flashed again. The violent ice and snow vortex formed instantly, covering an area of 100 meters. Xiao Han also integrated the power of the dark demon evil god tiger and the wind element into it, turning the vortex into deep dark blue. The movement of the wolf bandit group was immediately restricted. They moved with difficulty in the blizzard, and their bodies were constantly scratched by the ice and snow blades. Shui Binger and the others took the opportunity to launch a more fierce attack. At this moment, Xiao Han suddenly felt a strong breath bursting out from one of the wolf bandit leaders. The wolf bandit leader howled to the sky, and the green hair on his body suddenly turned blood red. Its body size swelled again, and the red light in its eyes became more weird. A violent breath burst out from its body, and it actually dispelled the suppression of the blizzard vortex. The other 2 wolf bandit leaders followed closely and entered this violent state. But the most violent one was the leader wolf. It's the frenzy power in the blood. Xiao Han's eyes condensed. The 3 wolf leaders pounced on Xiao Han at the same time, with amazing speed. Their claws became sharper, and they could even draw sparks in the air. Xiao Han immediately activated a defense skill of the 70,000-year-old right arm soul bone. A layer of solid ice armor wrapped him up, blocking the claw attack of the wolf bandit leader. I won't play with you guys anymore. Xiao Han's eyes suddenly lit up, one eye turned ice blue, and the other turned red. The yin-yang domain of ice and fire unfolded instantly. As soon as the 3 wolf leaders entered the domain, they felt a strong force of suppression. The violent aura on their bodies was suppressed, and their speed slowed down. Xiao Han took the opportunity to launch an attack. The 6th soul ring on his body flashed, and a high explosive penetration was launched. An invisible ice arrow directly pierced through the head of one of the wolf leaders. The wolf leader let out a shrill scream, fell to the ground and twitched a few times, and died. The other two wolf leaders became even more crazy when they saw their companions die tragically. They rushed towards Xiao Han regardless of everything, not even caring about what harm they would suffer. Xiao Han snorted coldly, and two rays of light shot out of his eyes. The yin-yang divine light of ice and fire. The two rays of light, one cold and one hot, contained the ultimate power of ice and fire, and directly pierced the bodies of the two wolf leaders. Xiao Han continued to shoot arrows, and together with Shui Binger and others, he killed all the remaining wolf thieves. After the battle, Xiao Han gathered his soul power. The ice and snow melted, revealing the bodies of wolf bandits all over the ground. Is that it? Shui Yuer couldn't believe it. So many wolf bandits were destroyed so easily. Those three leaders were too crazy, but they were still vulnerable in front of Xiao Han. If it weren't for our safety, Xiao Han would have dealt with them long ago. Yu Harao, Gu Qingbo and others also showed admiration. Everyone knew that Xiao Han was very strong, but they were still deeply shocked when they saw this scene with their own eyes. Are you all okay? Let me help you heal. While Yulingling was talking, she released the Holy Heart Begonia martial spirit again. The golden light bloomed from the begonia flower, covering everyone, bringing a warm feeling. Under the treatment of the Holy Heart Begonia, the fatigue of everyone was immediately swept away, and their condition was restored to the best. It's amazing, Zhu Wu exclaimed. You are worthy of being the world's #1 healing spirit. Yulingling smiled. I have to thank the magical herbs Xiao gave me. Xiao Han walked to the body of the largest wolf and examined it carefully. This wolf should be the supreme leader of the wolf bandit group. Its body is more burly than the other two wolf leaders. Xiao Han knew that it had a bloodthirsty and crazy spirit bone. Chapter 133, Ice Jade Luan. Xiao Han carefully examined the body of the wolf bandit leader. On its right leg, he found a bone emitting blood-red light. It's this bloodthirsty right leg bone. Xiao Han's eyes lit up. This soul bone was the source of the power of the wolf bandit leader when he was in a frenzy. It was formed by fusing the blood power of the wind wolf and contained powerful frenzy energy. Shui Binger and others also quickly gathered around. Xiao Han, is this a soul bone? Yes, it's a 10,000-year-old right leg soul bone. Xiao Han picked up the soul bone and turned to look at Xin Liuyu. Liuyu, this soul bone is very suitable for you. Your martial soul, the enamel lucky crocodile, is originally a strong attack system. With this soul bone, your combat power will be greatly improved. Thank you, Xiao Han. Xin Liuyu happily took the soul bone. Absorb it now, we will watch on the side. Okay, then. Xin Liuyu sat cross-legged and began to absorb the right leg bone. As the energy of the soul bone was injected into his body, Xin Liuyu radiated a blood-red light. Her aura continued to rise, and soon broke through the bottleneck and reached level 47. After completely absorbing the right leg bone, several people gathered around. Liuyu, how do you feel? Great, my strength has increased significantly. Try the power of that soul bone. Okay, Xin Liuyu stood up and released the enamel crocodile martial soul. She activated the right leg soul bone and immediately entered a frenzy state. Her martial soul body was covered with a layer of blood-red scales, and her sharp fangs and claws emitted a cold light, and her whole momentum became extremely fierce. So powerful, Shui Binger and others exclaimed. Xiao Han nodded with satisfaction. Liuyu, this soul bone is indeed very suitable for you. However, it consumes a lot of your soul power in the frenzy state, so be careful when using it. Well, I know. Then, Xiao Han went down the mountain to inform the villagers. A large number of villagers poured into the mountain. When they saw the corpses of wolf bandits all over the ground, they were shocked and speechless. Did you kill all of them? An old man asked tremblingly. Xiao Han nodded. Yes. We have killed all of these wolf bandits. They will not cause trouble anymore. The villagers never thought that this group of young spirit masters would completely eliminate the ferocious wolf bandits in such a short time. The news spread quickly, and the government sent people to deal with the bodies of the wolf bandits. Xiao Han and his group did not stay for long and set off immediately. Shui Yuer asked with some doubts, Xiao Han, are we not going back to Xianshu City? No, we are going to the frozen forest in the extreme north. You are now at the bottleneck of level 49. And Binger is about to break through level 60. That is the most suitable place for us to practice, and you two can break through faster there. Let's go there to practice for a while, and after you break through, we can hunt suitable spirit beasts to obtain spirit rings. That's a good idea. The group headed north, heading towards the extreme north. Not long after, the news that Xiao Han and his group had eliminated the wolf bandits reached Xiandao City. What? Xiao Han and his team killed the wolf bandits on the border. Emperor Zhi looked at the memorial in his hand in shock. Yes, father, Zhu King said respectfully. According to the report of the border officials, Xiao Han led 8 female spirit masters and wiped out 200 or 300 wolf bandits in just a few days, including the 3 powerful wolf bandit leaders. This, Emperor Zhi was speechless for a moment. Over the years, the wolf bandits have been a major concern for the 2 countries. Even the Spirit Hall has failed to wipe them out. I didn't expect Xiao Han to do this so easily. Father, the Xingluo Empire. Zhu King was about to say something but stopped. Emperor Zhi sighed. Emperor Xingluo has been asking us for an explanation for Davis' death. We can't just listen to their unilateral statements. Let's talk about it after Xiao Han and his team come back, at the same time, in the Xingluo Palace. Waste. All waste. Emperor Xingluo angrily threw the memorial in his hand to the ground. They couldn't even deal with a group of wolf bandits, but now they were wiped out by Xiao Han and several young female spirit masters. Even the people in our Xingluo border regard him as a hero. Father, calm down, they are just lucky. Dai Mubei bowed. The Xingluo emperor looked solemn. Mubei, I have decided to make you the crown prince. You must improve your strength as soon as possible. That Xiao Han must not be left alive. Yes, father. I will definitely avenge my elder brother. Dai Mubei finally got his wish and ascended to the position of crown prince. On the other side, the spirit hall. Bibi Dong looked at the intelligence in her hand and frowned slightly. This Xiao Han, every time he makes a move, it's unexpected. The wolf bandits that gave the spirit hall a headache were actually wiped out by them. Send someone to secretly investigate their whereabouts and see where they went. Yes, Your Holiness the Pope. Xiao Han and his group didn't know that they had caused such a big disturbance. At this time, they had arrived at the frozen forest and found a safe cave to settle down. Then he began to practice with concentration. 2 months later, Shui Binger suddenly opened her eyes from her practice. Finally I broke through. Binger, congratulations. Shui Binger finally broke through to level 60 and was about to become a soul emperor. Xiao Han smiled with joy. Finally I can go hunting soul beasts. Binger, with your current strength, it's no problem to absorb soul rings of about 50,000 years. The next day, Xiao Han and his party set out for the center of the forest. In the frozen forest, ice-attributed soul beasts over 50,000 years old are not easy to find. After dozens of days of searching, Xiao Han sensed a strong breath of soul beasts. The breath contained a heart-pounding chill. Finally found it, Xiao Han opened his eyes and smiled. Follow me. Xiao Han led the way in front, moving at a high speed in the direction of the soul power fluctuation. Shui Binger and his party followed closely behind. When getting closer and closer to the soul beast, Xiao Han finally saw its appearance clearly. It's a 50,000-year-old ice jade luan. The ice jade luan not only has a powerful ice attribute, but also inherited a trace of the phoenix's bloodline. Although it is not as good as a real phoenix, it is already a very suitable choice for Shui Binger. Shui Binger's eyes lit up. Her martial soul is the ice phoenix. If she can obtain the ice jade luan's soul ring, it will undoubtedly greatly enhance her strength. Binger, you go and take down that soul beast. With me here. It can't run away. Okay, leave it to us. Everyone knows that with Xiao Han's current strength, he can easily take down the 50,000-year-old soul beast by himself. But he wants to leave the opportunity to everyone. Fighting against powerful soul beasts and facing greater challenges can allow them to truly grow. Chapter 134. 50,000 years head soul bone. This place is close to the center of the forest, and the surrounding temperature is very low. The snow on the ground has exceeded the knees, and the cold wind whistles past the ears, making a terrifying sound. If everyone is not of ice and water attributes, this environment alone is enough to make people unable to bear it. A huge iceberg stands in front of them. The iceberg is covered with crystal icicles, flashing a dazzling light in the sun. There is a huge cave halfway up the iceberg. The ice jade phoenix is there. Everyone holds their breath and approaches carefully. However, before they get close to the cave entrance, a clear cry suddenly sounds. Shui Binger's heart tightens. Oh no, we've been discovered. I saw a blue figure rising from the cave. It is nearly 10 meters long, snow white, and surrounded by light blue cold air. Its feathers are crystal clear, flashing charming light in the sun. The most eye-catching thing is its huge pair of wings, which are more than 10 meters long when spread out, as transparent as crystal. Every time it swings, it will bring up ice crystals all over the sky, which is magnificent. So beautiful. Yilingling saw such a beautiful ice-attributed soul beast for the first time, and couldn't help but exclaim in admiration. But before she finished her words, Bing Yulun showed its terrifying side. It flapped its wings, and countless sharp ice blades whistled towards everyone. These ice blades were not only extremely sharp, but also contained a strong chill, freezing even the air wherever they passed. "Be careful," Shui Binger shouted. She quickly used her second soul skill, Ice Ring Armor, and a layer of hard ice instantly wrapped up her teammates. Bang, 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 countless ice blades hit the ice barrier. Although most of the ice blades were blocked, cracks appeared on the ice barrier. What a strong force! Shui Binger looked solemn. Although her ice ring armor was strong, it still seemed a little insufficient in front of a 50,000-year soul beast. Everyone spread out and attacked it separately, covering Binger and Zhu to perform martial soul fusion skills. Yu Harao and Shen Liuyu surrounded it from both sides. Shen Liuyu activated the power of his right leg soul bone, and the whole person was shrouded in blood-red light, and his speed and strength were greatly improved. But is the ice jade Luant so easy to deal with? Its wings suddenly spread out, and a circle of visible cold air spread around. The temperature dropped sharply. The air within 100 meters seemed to solidify. Even the few people who were good at ice attributes felt a piercing chill and slowed down involuntarily. It is accumulating strength, Xiao Han's voice suddenly sounded. Pay attention to defense. Before the voice fell, the ice jade Luan launched a more fierce attack. Its feathers stood up, flashing cold light in the sun. Then, countless crystal ice feathers shot out like a rain of arrows. These ice feathers are not only extremely sharp, but also contain extremely strong penetrating power. Puff puff puff, Shui Yuir and Gu Qingbo were scratched by a few ice feathers, and the blood immediately dyed their lapels red. Seeing this, Yilingling immediately used the healing soul skill. The golden light enveloped the injured people, and the wounds healed at a speed visible to the naked eye. However, this scene attracted Bing Yulun's attention. Soul beasts of this level already have considerable intelligence. It immediately realized that Yilingling was a threat and must be dealt with first. Its figure suddenly turned into a stream of light and swooped down at an astonishing speed. The sharp beak flashed with cold light, pointing directly at Yilingling's throat. If this attack hits, Yilingling will die. At the critical moment, Xiao Han finally made a move. An invisible ice arrow broke through the air. This arrow was condensed by mental power and did not contain any soul power fluctuations, making it impossible to defend against. Even with Bing Yulun's strength, she was unable to detect it in advance. By the time she found out, it was too late. Boom! The silent ice arrow instantly pierced Bing Yulun's wings. Bing Yulun then realized that there was an even more terrifying existence hidden among these human soul masters in front of her. But Xiao Han did not continue to attack, but said lightly, "You continue to fight, I will protect Lingling." Everyone perked up again. Shui Binger and Zhu Wu's ice and snow drifting had quietly completed. The sky full of ice and snow sharp blades hovered in the air, trying to restrict Bing Yulun's movements. Yu Harao and Shen Liuyu kept looking for opportunities to launch attacks. But Bing Yulun's speed was too fast, and it had a strong resistance to ice-type soul skills, so it was difficult to work for a while. The continuous battle made both sides look a little tired. Bing Yulun's attack gradually became slower, but its defense was still very strong. Anyone who tried to approach would be forced back by its cold air. Bing Yulun seemed to realize that continuing to fight was not good for it, and gradually had the intention of retreating. It flapped its wings violently, trying to escape into the deeper ice field. However, Xiao Han was prepared. His mental power enveloped the entire area, and Bing Yulun just turned around and hid an invisible ice wall. Now, Shui Binger seized the opportunity and shouted. With Zhu's help, she released the original power of the Ice Phoenix martial spirit, and a layer of light blue light enveloped her body. A huge ice phoenix soared into the sky, emitting a dazzling light. At the same time, Zhu Wu also pushed her soul power to the extreme. The martial spirit fusion skills of the two reached an unprecedented strength. Countless sharp ice and snow blades circled in the air, blocking all possible retreat routes for Bing Yulun. Every snowflake contained a strong chill, and even the air was frozen. The trapped Bing Yulun let out an angry cry and tried to break out by force. But after such a long battle, its physical strength had been consumed too much. Under the intensive attack of ice and snow blades, its defense was finally broken. Most of its feathers were cut off, and blood dyed its white hair red. Shui Binger seized the opportunity and condensed all her soul power to launch the final attack. Ice Crystal Sword, a bright cold light flashed, and Bing Yulin let out a final cry and fell from the sky. Its huge body slammed heavily on the ground, stirring up the snow all over the sky. The fierce battle was finally over. Shui Binger and the others were exhausted and panting. Each of them had traces of being scratched by the ice crystal blade. Only Yi Lingling, who was protected by Xiao Han, was not injured. "Let me treat you," Yi Lingling said, and once again released her holy heart begonia martial spirit to provide treatment for everyone. A rich golden light fell from the sky, covering everyone, making their wounds recover at an astonishing speed. At the same time, a wisp of mist slowly rose from the body of the Bing Yulin, gradually condensing into a 10,000-year soul ring emitting black light. Suddenly, a blue light came into Xiao Han's eyes. Soul bone. Xiao Han was surprised and happy, and hurried over to check, and indeed found something. It was a head soul bone, with an ice blue luster all over the body, emitting a faint chill. Chapter 135 Eye of the Ice Phoenix. Xiao Han picked up the head soul bone that was emitting an icy blue sheen. A faint chill flowed on its surface, as if it contained endless icy power. Seeing this, Shui Binger and the others gathered around. Everyone was surprised and happy. Shui Yue asked, "Xiao Han, is this a soul bone?" "Yes, it's a head soul bone. I didn't expect that this 50,000-year-old ice jade Luan would actually explode with a head soul bone. Sister is really lucky." "Yes. It looks like a spiritual skull." After Xiao Han finished speaking, he turned his head and looked at Shui Binger beside him. "Binger, absorb the soul ring first, and then absorb this soul bone." "Okay." Shui Binger nodded, then sat cross-legged and began to absorb the 50,000-year soul ring. In an instant, a huge amount of energy poured into her body. This energy was extremely violent, carrying an extremely strong chill, as if it was going to freeze all her meridians. The energy of the 50,000-year soul ring was huge, far exceeding any soul ring Shui Binger had absorbed before. Fine beads of sweat began to seep out of her forehead, and her body was trembling slightly. Xiao Han tapped her forehead with his finger, and a ray of ice blue light sank into Shui Binger's eyebrows, helping her to stabilize her mental strength. At the same time, Yi Lingling also released her own holy heart begonia martial soul, and the golden light enveloped Shui Binger, trying to relieve her pain. With the help of the two, Shui Binger urged the power of the martial soul's origin and took the initiative to accept the chill. Gradually, her breathing became stable. The energy of the ice jade Luan began to merge into Shui Binger's ice phoenix martial soul. She could feel that she was gradually controlling this power. A few hours passed in a flash. Shui Binger finally absorbed the energy of the soul ring completely. When she opened her eyes again, she found that several people were looking at her expectantly. Xiao Han smiled and said, "Binger, you finally absorbed the soul ring. Well, I kept you waiting for a long time. It's okay. Everyone is also taking the opportunity to practice," Xiao Han said, handing over the head soul bone. "While you are in a good state now, absorb this soul bone as well." "Okay." Shui Binger took the soul bone and began to absorb it without hesitation. Xiao Han waited quietly by the side. It only took half an hour for Shui Binger to completely integrate the soul bone into her head. The moment she opened her eyes, everything in front of her seemed to become clearer, and her perception was elevated to a higher level. Several people were surprised to find that the color of Shui Binger's pupils had turned into deep ice blue, flashing with a strange light. Feeling the increasingly powerful aura of Shui Binger, Shui Yue was very excited. "Sister, how do you feel?" I am completely different." Shui Binger stood up and felt the power filling her body. After absorbing the 50,000-year soul ring and soul bone, her soul power directly increased to level 64. And with the fusion of the soul ring and soul bone, her control over the power of ice has also reached a new level. Zhu Wu asked, "Binger, your soul power should have improved a lot, right?" "I've improved 4 levels at once, and now it's level 64. Level 64, the girls all looked at Shui Binger with envy. Shui Binger is not even 18 years old, but she has already become a level 64 Battle Soul Emperor. I'm afraid she is the fastest Soul Master to achieve this achievement except Xiao Han. Xiao Han looked at Shui Binger with expectation. Binger, Bing Yulun Soul Ring and Soul Bone are very suitable for you. What is the new soul skill you have obtained? Shui Binger smiled and said, my sixth soul skill is Phoenix Feather Slash. When I use this soul skill, I can emit sharp ice blades from my wings. The ice blades are not only powerful, but also contain the pressure of the phoenix, and also have a freezing effect. Shui Yuer clapped her hands. Sister, your new soul skill sounds very powerful. Show it to us. Shui Binger nodded, and then released the Ice Phoenix Martial Spirit. The huge Ice Phoenix looked more dazzling than before. Phoenix Feather Slash. With Shui Binger's shout, dozens of sharp ice blades shot out from the wings. Those ice blades not only carried a strong chill, but also contained an invisible pressure. Wherever they passed, even the air was cut into pieces, and several large trees in the distance were easily cut down. Xiao Han exclaimed, Binger, this soul skill is really good. It greatly improves your attack power. That skill should also bring you a powerful soul skill, right? Shui Binger nodded gently. The skill has greatly improved my mental power, allowing me to lock on opponents with a weaker mental power than me. Once the target is locked, it is difficult for the opponent to escape my tracking, and I can see through all kinds of disguises. I call it the Ice Phoenix Eye. After Shui Binger finished speaking, she concentrated her mental power and immediately activated this ability. Her pupils bloomed with an ice blue light, and her vision became extremely clear. She could clearly see a soul beast walking through the snow 1,000 meters away, and even distinguish the hair on its body. More importantly, she could sense the opponent's mental fluctuations. This is indeed a very practical ability, which is very helpful for tracking and investigation. Xiao Han was happy for Shui Binger. This breakthrough greatly improved her strength and gained two extremely practical skills. Xiao Han looked around. It's getting dark. Let's rest in Bing Yulun's nest for one night and leave tomorrow, okay? Yuer, you have to hurry up and practice, and strive to break through level 50 as soon as possible. Well, I understand, the center of the forest is more dangerous. After resting here for one night, the next morning, several people set off and retreated to the periphery. After a month of hard practice, Shui Yuer finally broke through the bottleneck of level 50 and could hunt soul beasts to obtain the first 10,000-year soul ring. Under the leadership of Xiao Han, the group began to look for a suitable soul beast for Shui Yuer. Shui Binger released her martial soul and soared in the air. After absorbing the spiritual skull, her perception became extremely sharp, and the subtle soul power fluctuations around her could not be hidden from her eyes. Soon, she found a frozen lake. The lake looked ordinary, but Shui Binger could sense a strong soul power fluctuation underneath. Xiao Han and his group soon arrived at the lake. Shui Yuer asked curiously, Sister, what kind of soul beast is in this lake? An ice spirit fish, which has been cultivating for about 20,000 years. The ice spirit fish is very fast, and it matches your Yingyu dolphin martial spirit very well. Shui Yuer became even more excited. However, the ice spirit fish hid at the bottom of the lake, and it was not easy to lure it out. The lake is frozen, and it is hiding in the lake. If we attack it like this, won't it be scared away? This is easy. Xiao Han smiled confidently and took out a herb with a strong fragrance from the storage container. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 136, Encounter with Oscar. The herb in Xiao Han's hand had a strong fragrance, mixed with a faint fishy smell, which smelled strange. Xiao Han, what is this? This is Linxinkyo, one of the favorite foods of fish soul beasts. With it, the ice soul fish should appear. As he said, he threw the Linxinkyo into the lake. The smell of the medicine quickly spread over the lake, penetrating into the lake through the thick ice. Sure enough, not long after, there was a wave of fluctuations on the lake. A blue-white figure slowly emerged from the bottom of the lake, exuding the powerful aura unique to a 20,000-year-old soul beast. It was a giant ice fish with a body length of more than 3 meters, with an ice blue body and crystal clear scales that sparkled in the sun. It exuded a strong chill, and when it swam, it would swing its tail fin from time to time, raising waves of chill. Now, Xiao Han shouted. Act as planned. Shui Binger and Zhu Wu were already ready, and immediately performed their martial soul fusion skills. Snow and ice drifted over the lake, trying to restrict the movement of the ice spirit fish. Yu Hao and her companions surrounded it from both sides, ready to attack at any time. Shui Yuer took a deep breath and released her Jade Dolphin martial spirit. She wanted to kill the soul beast herself and obtain the soul ring for herself. The ice spirit fish soon discovered the presence of humans. It swung its tail fin in anger, raising a series of ice blades. Everyone immediately dispersed to avoid the attacks of those ice blades. Shui Yuer dodged while looking for opportunities to attack. Her Jade Dolphin martial spirit was also good at speed, gliding freely on the ice. Being besieged by everyone, the ice spirit fish saw that the situation was not good and wanted to escape to the bottom of the lake. Don't let it run away. Shui Binger and Zhu Wu increased their soul power output and instantly froze the entire lake completely. The ice spirit fish was frozen into an ice sculpture. Shui Yuer quickly took action and slashed several ice blades in succession. Bang! With a loud noise, the ice layer was shattered. Shui Yuer's continuous attacks hit the vital points of the ice spirit fish. The giant creature let out a whine and its body twitched violently. Shui Yuer then launched an attack. Crack! The ice spirit fish's defense was completely defeated, and its huge body fell down with a bang. It struggled a few times and finally closed its eyes unwillingly. Well done. This time, Xiao Han did not make a move at all. They relied entirely on their own strength to kill the soul beast with a cultivation of 20,000 years. A wisp of black mist slowly rose from the body of the ice spirit fish, and gradually condensed into a soul ring with a black glow in the air. Yi Lingling released her Sacred Heart Begonia martial soul, and the rich golden light fell on everyone, making their fatigue disappear quickly. Shui Yuer soon recovered to her best condition. Under the protection of everyone, she began to absorb the soul ring. After a few hours, Shui Yuer completely absorbed the soul ring and had her first 10,000-year soul ring. As a result, her soul power was raised by 2 levels, reaching the 52nd level, and she officially became a fighting soul king. After this period of practice, Xiao Han's soul power broke through the 79 level and was at the bottleneck of the 80 level. He could have continued to practice in the frozen forest and broke through the 80 level as soon as possible. However, even if he broke through the 80 level here, it would be difficult to obtain the desired soul ring. Because his requirements for the 8th soul ring are relatively high, at least it must come from a soul beast with a cultivation of more than 100,000 years. Soul beasts of more than 100,000 years have extremely powerful strength, and Xiao Han has the confidence to deal with such soul beasts. However, considering that there are still several soul masters of more than 40 levels in the team, their strength is not too strong, and their safety must be taken into consideration. Moreover, it has been nearly half a year since they left Xianxia City, and it is time to go back and report safety to their families. Under the leadership of Xiao Han, the group prepared to leave the frozen forest and return to Xianxia City. When the few people were about to walk out of the frozen forest, Xiao Han suddenly felt a fluctuation of soul power, and immediately stopped and looked ahead vigilantly. Shui Binger also felt something strange ahead. Shui Yuer asked, Xiao Han, what's wrong? Someone is coming, a soul master, there are quite a few of them, and they may come to the frozen forest to hunt soul beasts like us, Shui Binger continued. Ignore them. Let's keep going. Xiao Han could feel that the soul power of those people was not strong, and there was not even a soul master in the team, so he didn't take it seriously. Several people continued to move forward. When the distance was getting closer, those people also noticed the existence of the 9 of them. When the 2 teams were less than 20 meters away from each other, they stopped at the same time. The Soul Master team standing opposite Xiao Han had a total of 10 people, all of whom looked over 20 years old, and some were in their 30s and 40s. They carefully looked at the group of young Soul Masters in front of them and felt incredible. The environment of the frozen forest is extremely harsh, and it is difficult for Soul Masters without cold attributes to survive here. And the group of young Soul Masters in front of them looked less than 20 years old, and there were 1 man and 8 women. Boy, are you here to hunt soul beasts as well? Or are you here for fun? One of them shouted at Xiao Han, his eyes full of disdain. He might be jealous of the 8 beautiful girls surrounding Xiao Han. The man looked about 30 years old, with a burly figure and a face full of flesh. His soul power should be in the early 50 levels. Xiao Han didn't bother to pay attention to him, but just stared at him coldly. Hey, are you dumb? I'm talking to you, you're dumb. My junior brother doesn't even bother to talk to people like you, Yu Harao was so angry that she retorted for Xiao Han. The man suddenly showed a malicious smile. The little girl is quite fierce. Dolly, don't make trouble, let's go. Xiao Han's soul power surged in his body, and just when he was about to take action, he was interrupted by a middle-aged man. The middle-aged man should be the leader of this team. Although the strong man was unwilling, he stopped talking because of the boss's majesty. Suddenly, a dull voice came from the crowd. It's really a narrow road for enemies. I didn't expect to meet you here. Several girls were shocked by the man's words. Xiao Han looked carefully and found that the thin man who was blocked by the strong man was somewhat familiar, as if he had seen him somewhere before. Are you Oscar? Yes, it's me. Oscar stood up. Several girls were unbelievable when they saw him. His face was more resolute than before, and the whole person didn't have the refreshing feeling before. He was a little sloppy and looked more mature, like a man in his 20s. Even if he was not blocked, several people might not recognize him. Xiao Han smiled indifferently, and his eyes swept over the Soul Master team around Oscar, and he was already a little alert in his heart. After the captain spoke, Oscar could have left with him, but he deliberately exposed his identity at this time, obviously with hostility. Chapter 137, Once the arrow is shot, there is no turning back. Oscar's words instantly made the originally calm atmosphere tense. His eyes flashed with complex emotions, including hatred, unwillingness, and more of a desire for power and determination to prove himself. After the Soul Master competition, he went to the Seven Treasures Glazed sect and realized that there was a huge gap between him and Ningrongrong, so he left tactfully. He chose a difficult path of cultivation and joined this Soul Master team. The purpose was to hone himself in actual combat and become stronger, strong enough to prove his worth in front of Ningrongrong and Ningfengzi. He wanted to prove that he was not only an auxiliary Soul Master, but also a Soul Master. This team happened to come to the frozen forest to hunt soul beasts and obtain rare treasures. Unexpectedly, they met Xiao Han and his group. Several people in the team looked at Oscar. Do you know them? Oscar concealed his identity when he joined the team, so they didn't know that he had participated in the Soul Master competition before. Of course I know him. This kid once seriously injured my friend. Oscar's voice was a little hoarse, but it also revealed a kind of maturity after experiencing vicissitudes. In the Soul Master competition, Xiao Han seriously injured Oscar's teammates Tang Sen, Daimyu Bei, Ma Hongjin and Xiao Wu, which made them resentful. In the past year, Oscar has been concentrating on cultivation and indifferent to the outside world. He didn't know Xiao Han's current strength. Meeting Xiao Han here is just the right time to use the power of the team to get rid of him. In this team, except for Captain Hao Ten, everyone else is not a good person. For the sake of profit, they can do anything. Xiao Han felt the hostility in Oscar's eyes. He knew that according to the development of the timeline, Oscar would go out for training and come to the frozen forest, but he didn't expect to meet them so early. Oscar, you have become bad after hanging around with a little punk for a few years. People will change, especially after going through so much. Oscar's eyes turned to the people behind Xiao Han, and a hint of coldness flashed in his eyes. Xiao Han frowned slightly, vaguely aware of the restless breath of the Soul Master team members around him. Sure enough, Oscar's next words confirmed his guess. Brothers, I have good news for you. Oscar's voice rose a few degrees, with a bit of incitement. These people have precious soul bones. Soul bones. The Soul Master team members who had been restrained at first suddenly showed greed in their eyes, and released their own martial arts, surrounding Xiao Han and his group. Brothers, as long as we can get soul bones, our strength will be greatly increased. There are not many people in this world who can resist the temptation of soul bones. The breath of those people is full of desire for power, covetousness for soul bones, and contempt for the weak. What are you doing? Hao Ten, who had been silent all the time, finally spoke. His voice was low and powerful, and he was obviously dissatisfied with the behavior of the team members. He didn't expect that Oscar, who had always been honest and dutiful, actually had such a dark side and wanted to use the power of the team to implement his revenge plan. Captain, this is our chance. Yes, Captain, didn't we come to the frozen forest to hunt for treasure? These people look rich or noble. If we kill them, we might not only get soul bones, but also other treasures. Yes, kill them. The team members all looked at Hao Ten, with determination in their eyes. Captain, with soul bones, the overall strength of our team will become stronger. Hao Ten sighed. He could understand Oscar's obsession with revenge, and he also understood the greed of these people in the team. But he knew even more clearly that the young soul master in front of him was not an ordinary person. Although Xiao Han deliberately restrained his soul power, he could still feel the unusual aura on Xiao Han. Stop it. Bullying a group of young soul masters, aren't you afraid of being laughed at if it gets out, Captain? You think too much? These people will die, and the dead can't talk. The desire for soul bones made these greedy people deeply trapped and unable to extricate themselves. Hao Te tried to persuade him. But obviously, his words seemed so pale and powerless in the face of greed. Captain, if you don't want to participate, just stand aside and watch. We will still give you a share of the treasure. After the strong man finished speaking, he flashed and rushed towards Xiao Han. Faced with this sudden change, Xiao Han seemed unusually calm. The Xianbing bow and arrow appeared in his hand in an instant, and 7 soul rings also emerged. Purple, 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 black, 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 red. Each soul ring exuded a powerful aura, especially the 100,000-year soul ring with red light. Xiao Han's figure was upright, like a sword unsheathed, standing in the wind and snow. As the 7 soul rings appeared, the aura around him suddenly changed, and an indescribable pressure enveloped the entire space. The 100,000-year soul ring with a bright red light emitted a heart-pounding energy fluctuation, which made those soul masters feel awe involuntarily. The faces of several people changed slightly, and a trace of retreat flashed in their eyes. 100,000-year soul ring. Oscar never expected that Xiao Han's strength had reached such a terrifying level after only 1 year of not seeing him. He originally thought that with his hard work in the past year and the strength of the team, he would be able to deal with Xiao Han and his group. But now it seems that everything is just wishful thinking. Soul bones are good, but you have to live to enjoy them. Xiao Han's voice was not loud, but it was clearly heard by everyone, with unquestionable firmness and coldness. Those people were trembling with fear, but they could not move their feet. Captain Hao Te realized that Xiao Han was the genius boy who killed 3 generations of the Jin family in Xianxia City, but it was too late. Oscar, you lick dog, no matter how hard you try, you can't get into the eyes of Ning Rongrong and Ning Fengzi. It's better to die than to live so cowardly. After Xiao Han finished speaking, he raised his left arm slightly, and the light of the 100,000-year soul bone in his left arm lit up instantly. An extreme chill quickly spread around him. In the blink of an eye, everyone except Hao Te was frozen into ice sculptures, without even time to react. This is... Oscar looked at everything in front of him in horror, his heart filled with shock. He had never thought that Xiao Han had become so powerful. Seeing his teammates trapped, Hao Te quickly released his martial soul, the Snow Soul Demon Bear, but did not launch an attack. Little brother, you are Xiao Han, right? My teammates don't know your true identity. So please be magnanimous and give them a chance, Xiao Han said coldly. If we are the weaker party, will they give us a chance? Once the arrow is shot, there is no turning back. They asked for it. As Xiao Han spoke, the 70,000-year-old soul bone on his right arm flashed, and the bowstring was fully drawn. Chapter 138 Killing Oscar. As Xiao Han's right arm soul bone and soul ring shone, the whole space seemed to be filled with a murderous aura. The huge Snow Soul Demon Bear was also shocked by Xiao Han's murderous aura. Even if he released his martial soul, Hao Te did not dare to take a step forward. The second soul skill, 10,000 arrows, was activated. Countless arrows drew ice blue trajectories in the air, with a piercing chill and the sound of breaking through the air, covering the sky and flying densely towards the opponent. With the power of the 70,000-year right arm soul bone, this soul skill has become more powerful. Each ice arrow contains a heart-pounding breath of death. No, Captain Hao Te's terrified cry was full of despair. But everything was irreversible. He could only watch those teammates who had fought side by side, like fragile puppets, being ruthlessly shot through under Xiao Han's impenetrable rain of arrows. Those people turned into sieves one by one, and their blood and lives disappeared under the cold arrows, and they fell one after another. The ice blue arrows and the bright red blood flowers intertwined into a shocking picture. The air was filled with the smell of death, and the tragic scene was unbearable to watch. When the last arrow landed, everything returned to calm, leaving only Hao Te standing alone, surrounded by the cold bodies of his teammates. Oscar also died. Xiao Han slowly put away his handing bow and arrow and looked at Hao Te. You also saw that this is what they asked for. Greed and malice will eventually reap what they sow. You are also a nice attribute soul master. If you don't make a move, you will be spared." After saying that, Xiao Han turned around and looked at the people around him. They did not feel sympathy for the death of those evil people. Then, Xiao Han and his group left, leaving Hao Te standing there alone. Looking at the cold bodies of his teammates, he felt mixed emotions. Oscar was eager for revenge, and his teammates paid the price of their lives for their greed. What happened today will become an indelible shadow in his life. Several people are about to walk out of the frozen forest. Shui Binger said, "I never thought Oscar would become like that. For revenge, he actually instigated those people to besiege us, yet he looks honest, but he is actually dark inside. He has learned bad things from Tang Sen," Yu Harao echoed, with a hint of coldness in her eyes, as if she was disgusted with Oscar's behavior. "However, fortunately, we have Xiao Han here, otherwise the consequences today would be disastrous." The few of them walked and talked, and soon walked out of the frozen forest. They continued to head south and rushed to Xianshu City. Half a month later, when Xiao Han and his party stepped into the gate of Xianshu City, they were greeted not by the tranquility of the past, but by deafening cheers and thunderous applause. After half a year, seeing Xiao Han again, the faces of the people were filled with joy and admiration, as if they were welcoming a hero who had returned triumphantly. Xiao Han eliminated the bullies in Xianshu City, and also led people to eliminate the wolf bandits who were harming the people in the western border. Everything he did was supported and recognized by the people of Xianshu City, and he was regarded as the pride of Xianshu City. Xiao Han was also happy to have used his abilities to do something meaningful. After meeting Lin Zhiruo, Xiao Han told her everything he had experienced in the past 6 months. Lin Zhiruo was very happy to learn about the growth and gains of Xiao Han and his group. Some time ago, Davis' death caused a lot of uproar. Xingluo concealed the truth of the matter. "They actually coveted the soul bones on you. They really deserved to die." "Mom, don't worry, I will handle this matter myself." "Well, the Crown Prince sent a letter, asking you to go find him after you come back. After seeing him, explain the matter clearly, and Xingluo will not dare to do anything." "Okay." The mother and son talked a lot more. Xiao Han learned from Lin Zhiruo that not long ago, Emperor Xingluo officially appointed Daimyo as the Crown Prince. Daimyo became the only heir of Emperor Xingluo. If nothing unexpected happens, he will ascend to the throne. After resting for 2 days, Xiao Han set out alone to Xiandao City. With his current strength, even a titled Douluo level warrior would hardly pose a threat to him. Xiao Han came to the Xiandao Palace and met Zhu King. "Brother Xiao Han, you are finally back." Zhu King smiled and greeted Xiao Han, his tone full of kindness. "Meet His Royal Highness the Crown Prince." Xiao Han bowed slightly, his attitude neither humble nor overbearing. "No need to be polite, please take a seat. There are no outsiders here, just call me Brother Zhu." Zhu King pointed to a chair beside him and motioned Xiao Han to sit down. "I didn't expect that you guys would completely wipe out that group of wolf bandits so quickly." His Majesty was very happy to learn about this and decided not to pursue the matter of you killing the 3 Jin family grandfathers and grandsons. "Thank you, Brother Zhu. You must have said a lot of good things for me in front of His Majesty." Zhu King smiled slightly and changed the subject. "However, you have also caused us a lot of trouble." "What happened to Davis' death, Brother Zhu?" "I am here to explain this to you." Then, Xiao Han told Zhu King everything that happened after he met Davis and his group in the Xingdao Great Forest. After listening, Zhu King frowned slightly, and after thinking for a moment, he said, "The Xingluo Empire has gone too far and concealed the truth of the matter. Don't worry, with me here, they dare not easily attack you, Brother Zhu. Since I dared to kill Davis, I have already thought of the consequences, and I am not afraid of their revenge. You are getting stronger and stronger, and you are getting more and more arrogant." Zhu King looked at Xiao Han in a joking tone, with admiration in his eyes. "You have the capital to be arrogant. I admire your courage and strength. However, you should be careful in everything. After all, Emperor Xingluo is also a tough guy." "Yes, I understand. By the way, Daimyo has been appointed as the Crown Prince, you know that?" "Yes, he should thank me. If Davis hadn't died, he wouldn't have had the chance to become the Crown Prince of Xingluo." Zhu King nodded. "As far as I know, Davis is indeed more advantageous in the fight for the Crown Prince position." Zhu King's face curled up a smile. "Davis' death also weakened the power of the Xingluo royal family. No matter who ascends to the Crown Prince position, It will not affect the Spirit Hall's plan to unify the Douluo continent. Brother Xiao Han, there is one more thing. Some time ago, Douluo did not show up at my uncle's birthday party, which aroused everyone's suspicion. They seem to have known that Douluo is gone. Really? But it doesn't matter even if they know. Yes. Douluo made too many enemies in his life. They probably didn't think that you killed him. Xiao Han and Zhu King chatted for a while before leaving the palace. Walking on the bustling street, he suddenly saw two familiar faces. It was Yu Xiaogang and Liu Erlong. Chapter 139 Yu Xiaogang, what is your dog's bark? Yu Xiaogang and Liu Erlong walked over from the opposite side of Xiao Han and saw him. The three of them stopped at the same time, not expecting to meet here. The air seemed to freeze for a moment, and a subtle atmosphere of opposition formed between the three. Yu Xiaogang frowned, and his eyes flashed with complex emotions. Liu Erlong stood beside him, clenched his hands, and his expression revealed a hint of tension and vigilance. They both knew that Xiao Han's strength was no longer what it used to be. Yu Xiaogang's eyes swept around Xiao Han and noticed that Xiao Han was alone, without any companions. As far as he knew, Xiao Han disappeared after leading people to hunt wolf bandits at the border of the empire. The Xingluo Empire was negotiating with the Xiandao Empire about Davis' death. The person who got into trouble was Xiao Han. Yu Xiaogang didn't expect that Xiao Han would appear alone in Xiandao City. He took a step and walked towards Xiao Han calmly and firmly. Liu Erlong followed closely behind. When they were only 10 meters away from Xiao Han, they suddenly stopped. Yu Xiaogang's eyes were like torches, and he asked directly, Xiao Han, I didn't expect to meet you here. We went to the center of Sunset Forest and found something there. If I'm not mistaken, Senior Douluo's death is related to you. Faced with this sudden question, Xiao Han's eyes flickered slightly, and he responded frankly, Douluo once tried to take my life and even threatened the safety of innocent people around me. In that situation, I just did the necessary self-defense, and he deserved to die. Xiao Han's eyes were firm, without any evasion. He felt that there was no need to hide the fact that he killed Douluo. After hearing Xiao Han's words, Yu Xiaogang's face suddenly became gloomy. Although he had suspected it long ago, he was still shocked to hear Xiao Han admit it himself. Douluo was a titled Douluo after all, and it was too unbelievable to be killed by Xiao Han. Sure enough, you did it. You stole his herbs and took his life. Xiao Han smiled disdainfully. Still? Could it be that Sunset Forest is Douluo's territory? He has occupied it for many years and doesn't even recognize the fairy grass. I just let those fairy grasses play their value. As for Douluo's death, blame him for not being as skilled as others. Xiao Han's words were full of unquestionable determination, knocking on Yu Xiaogang's heart. In this world where the weak are the prey of the strong, strength determines everything. This is the survival rule of the Soul Master world, and Yu Xiaogang is also very clear in his heart. Although what Xiao Han said is a cruel fact, it is hard to accept. After all, Douluo is also a powerful title Douluo level, and he stands on the same front with him. It is a pity that he died like this. Xiao Han, your strength has indeed increased amazingly, but don't think that you can do whatever you want. Senior Douluo is our Shrek Academy's consultant, and he is also a guest of Prince Zuxing. If you kill him, you will be our enemy. Yu Xiaogang's tone was a bit reproachful, which made Xiao Han a little unhappy. So what if I'm your enemy? I don't even take the Prince of Xingluo Empire seriously, so why would I be afraid of you? You are a waste whose soul power is less than level 30. If it weren't for Bibi Dong's protection, I don't know how many times you would have died. What qualifications do you have to bark in front of me? What did you say? Liu Erlong was angry, and the soul power in her body surged wildly, and it seemed that fire was coming out of her body. Xiao Han not only insulted Yu Xiaogang as a waste in front of them, but also used Bibi Dong to stimulate her, which made her unbearable. Just when she was about to explode, Yu Xiaogang quickly stopped her. Erlong, don't be impulsive. It was not the first time that Yu Xiaogang was called a waste, but he was also very angry when Xiao Han insulted him in the street. But he knew in his heart how powerful a 100,000-year soul ring was, and Liu Erlong was probably not Xiao Han's opponent. If Flanders was here, the three of them would work together to perform the martial soul fusion technique, and perhaps they could fight Xiao Han. After calming down, Liu Erlong said, Xiao Han, you took advantage of Senior Douluo's weakness to plot against him, and you also seriously injured Tang Sen, Xiao Wu and others at the Soul Master competition. These accounts will be settled with you sooner or later. Okay, let's settle Oscar's account as well. Oscar, Liu Erlong and Yu Xiaogang looked at each other, and suddenly realized that something was wrong. They heard from Ning Rongrong that after the Soul Master competition, Oscar went to the Seven Treasures Glazed sect, but only stayed for a short time before leaving. For nearly a year, there was no news of him, just like Tang San and Xiao Wu. Yu Xiaogang asked anxiously, have you seen Oscar? More than that, that arrogant guy has died in my hands. Anyway, you will know it sooner or later, so it doesn't hurt to tell you in advance. What? Hearing Xiao Han casually say that Oscar had died in his hands, Yu Xiaogang and Liu Erlong were like being struck by lightning, and they were stunned in an instant, their eyes full of incredible shock and grief. Yu Xiaogang's face turned pale in an instant, and his body trembled slightly, as if all his strength had been drained away. He couldn't accept this cruel fact. His eyes became empty, and his voice trembled a little. Impossible. How could Oscar? Liu Erlong's eyes were wide open, as if they were about to spit out fire, and the soul power in her body was boiling again, almost out of control. She guessed that what Xiao Han said should be true, and Oscar had died at his hands. Xiao Han, you devil. Why did you kill Oscar? Yu Xiaogang endured the pain in his heart and questioned, Xiao Han, you cold-blooded monster. Do you know what you did? Oscar is still so young, he works so hard, and has unlimited possibilities. Asshole, I'm going to kill you. Liu Erlong couldn't bear it anymore, and her figure flashed, and she was about to rush towards Xiao Han, but was held tightly by Yu Xiaogang. Erlong, calm down. Yu Xiaogang knew that Xiao Han's strength was unfathomable, and impulsiveness would only put them in a more dangerous situation. Xiao Han said coldly, Oscar's death was entirely his own fault. He actually instigated other soul masters and wanted to join them in seizing my soul bone. It's a pity that they were too weak. They were as greedy as Davis, who overestimated his own abilities. Shouldn't they die? Yu Xiaogang and Liu Erlong finally understood the cause of Oscar's death. They couldn't believe that Oscar would become such a person. Yu Xiaogang said in a deep voice, Xiao Han, you wait. One day, we will make you pay for what you did. Xiao Han smiled disdainfully. Just you? You can only be incompetent and furious. If it weren't for Bibi Dong, I would kill you, a hypocritical and incompetent person. For Bibi Dong's sake, I will keep your dog life for now. After Xiao Han finished speaking, he left. Chapter 140 Heartbroken Ning Rongrong. Yu Xiaogang was humiliated by Xiao Han again, and he was extremely angry, but he could do nothing. Bibi Dong was the high and mighty pope of the spirit hall, and her strength was also the top one, with few rivals. And he, Yu Xiaogang, had already broken up with Bibi Dong. Although he was unwilling to admit it, it was also true that Bibi Dong protected him, otherwise he would have died long ago. Xiao Han mentioned Bibi Dong in front of Liu Erlong again and again, which made Yu Xiaogang, a coward, feel ashamed and embarrassed. He clenched his teeth, his fists clenched so hard that veins bulged, and his eyes flashed with unprecedented anger and unwillingness. Xiao Han's back gradually went away, and every step he took was like a heavy step on his heart, making him feel suffocated and humiliated and helpless. He could only blame himself for his lack of strength and inability to compete with Xiao Han. Xiaogang, are we just going to let it go? Liu Erlong's voice was filled with unwillingness and anger. Her eyes were still glaring at the direction where Xiao Han left, as if she wanted to imprint that back in her heart as a motivation for revenge in the future. Yu Xiaogang took a deep breath and tried to calm his emotions. He turned to look at Liu Erlong, a hint of determination flashed in his eyes. No, of course we can't just let it go. However, we must outsmart him. His current combat power may have reached the level of title Douluo. It is obviously not the right time to fight him head-on. Outsmart him? How to outsmart him? Yu Xiaogang's eyes became deep, as if he was planning something. He already felt that Xiao Han's existence was a huge threat. Erlong, Xiao Han's arrogance has made him many enemies. His killing of Davis is undoubtedly a direct provocation to the Xingluo imperial family. How could the Xingluo emperor let it go? Moreover, although Douluo has a strange temperament, he has a high status in the Xiandao Empire. His death will inevitably make Prince Zuxing furious, and even Emperor Zuai will be angry. There is also Oscar. He has a close relationship with Rongrong. Xiao Han's move is equivalent to an invisible feud with the Seven Treasures Glazed Tile sect. What we have to do is to use these contradictions to unite those who hate Xiao Han. The Xingluo imperial family, Prince Zuxing, and even the 7 treasures glazed tile sect, each of them has powerful power and influence. As long as we can deal with it skillfully and gather this power together, it is not impossible to fight against Xiao Han. After hearing this, the anger in Liu Erlong's eyes subsided a little, and was replaced by a look of sudden enlightenment. We can indeed connect those forces and join forces to deal with Xiao Han. Yu Xiaogang nodded, and suddenly became sad again. Xiao Gang. If Rong knew that Xiao was killed by Xiao Han, she would be very sad. Yes. Let's find a suitable opportunity to tell her. Both of them were in a heavy mood. Without Oscar, the Shrek 7 devils could never reunite. After returning to the academy, Yu Xiaogang told Flanders what happened after he and Liu Erlong ran into Xiao Han on the street. Flanders was furious after hearing this. He watched Oscar grow up, and the relationship between him and Oscar was not comparable to that of Yu Xiaogang and Liu Erlong, the 2 later comers. However, no matter how angry he was, it would be useless. Xiao Han could easily kill 2 Soul Douluo level guardians and a group of masters in the Star Dao Great Forest. It is conceivable how terrifying his strength is. Moreover, he personally admitted that Douluo was killed by him. Flanders felt very uncomfortable and could only listen to Yu Xiaogang's revenge plan. Afterwards, Yu Xiaogang wrote a letter and asked someone to send it to the 7 treasures glazed sect. He did not mention Oscar's death in the letter, but only said that he had something important to discuss, and asked Ning Fengzi to bring Ning Rongrong to the academy. A few days later, Ning Fengzi brought Ning Rongrong, who looked excited, into Shrek Academy. Ning Rongrong thought that Yu Xiaogang had news about Tang San and the others. Yu Xiaogang had been waiting in the reception room. When he saw Ning Fengzi and his daughter, he stood up to greet them and exchanged a few polite words. Master, do you have any news about the 3rd brother and the others? Ning Rongrong asked impatiently, with an expectant smile on her face. Yu Xiaogang's face suddenly became solemn. He looked at Ning Fengzi, then turned to look at Ning Rongrong, with a trace of grief in his eyes. After a moment of silence, he slowly said, Master Ning Rongrong, in fact, I asked you to come this time because I have some, not so good news. The smile on Ning Rongrong's face froze instantly, and an ominous premonition came to her heart. Master, what happened? Oscar, something happened to him. Yu Xiaogang's voice was not loud, but every word hit Ning Rongrong's heart like a hammer. What? Ning Rongrong exclaimed, her eyes quickly reddened. Xiao, what happened to him? He met with an accident. Then, Yu Xiaogang told Ning Rongrong and Ning Fengzi everything about his encounter with Xiao Han on the street. Ning Rongrong couldn't hold back her tears anymore and they slid down her cheeks. Ning Fengzi was shocked and sad. He didn't expect that Oscar would die in Xiao Han's hands. How could this happen? Xiao worked so hard. Xiao Han must be lying. He said that on purpose. Ning Rongrong choked up, tears blurring her vision. Yu Xiaogang continued, Xiao Han should not have lied. From his tone, it seems that he didn't kill them all. There are still survivors in that Soul Master team. Yu Xiaogang's words were undoubtedly salt in the wound, and Ning Rongrong's heart ached even more. I'm sorry, Xiao, I shouldn't have said that to you. If you hadn't left me, that wouldn't have happened. Ning Fengzi gently patted his daughter's back and comforted her. Wrong, don't be too sad. I will send someone to investigate the truth of the matter and seek justice for Xiao. Yu Xiaogang nodded and agreed. Master Ning, Xiao Han's strength is no longer what it used to be. But Xiao will always be a member of Shrek Academy, and we won't let him die in vain at the hands of Xiao Han. After a moment of silence, Yu Xiaogang continued, Master Ning, there is another bad news to tell you. Senior Douluo also died at the hands of Xiao Han. What? Ning Fengzi's eyes widened in disbelief. This is also admitted by Xiao Han himself. Yu Xiaogang nodded. Then, he told Ning Fengzi everything about how he, Flanders, and Liu Erlong had been to the Sunset Forest Center and found Douluo's clothes and bone fragments there. Ning Fengzi was shocked after hearing this. He never thought that Douluo, a titled Douluo, had been killed at that time. Yu Xiaogang sighed and said, Senior Douluo was injured by Guangling Douluo, which gave them an opportunity. That being said, it is definitely not just luck to kill an injured titled Douluo. While Ning Fengzi was speaking, his eyes fell on the heartbroken Ning Rongrong again. He knew that it was not so easy to deal with Xiao Han. Chapter 141 Jinring Su, I know it's you. Ning Fengzi could understand Ning Rongrong's feelings. But as a sect master, he had to consider the interests of the entire sect. Although Ning Rongrong was very sad, He didn't need to act rashly against Xiao Han. He knew that with Xiao Han's current strength, he was enough to fight against a powerful title Douluo level, and he had to send Sword Douluo or Bone Douluo. Ning Fengzi regarded his daughter Ning Rongrong as the heir of the Seven Treasures Glazed Tile sect, and looked down on Oscar, who had no background and was a food auxiliary department. It was obviously unwise to make enemies with Xianshu College, which was on the rise, because of Oscar's death. After all, Xiao Han's enemies also included Emperor Xingluo and Prince Zuxing. The Xingluo royal family hated Xiao Han because of Davis' death. Prince Zuxing would also have great hostility towards Xiao Han because of Douluo's matter. Ning Fengzi didn't need to be the first to do it. He believed that Ning Rongrong's sadness was only temporary, and she would recover after a while. What he had to do now was to wait and see and act accordingly. Yu Xiaogang knew that it would take more than the power of Shrek Academy to completely eliminate the threat of Xiao Han. Ning Fengzi also seemed to find it difficult to put it into practice. Therefore, he decided to use all available resources to deal with Xiao Han. The news of Douluo's death quickly spread in Xiandao City. Prince Zuxing was furious when he learned about it. Xiao Han, you arrogant guy, how dare you kill Douluo? I will make you pay the price. Although Douluo had a strange temperament, he was a titled Douluo of the Xiandao Empire after all. His death was undoubtedly a major blow to the strength of the Xiandao Empire. Emperor Ziyi soon learned about Douluo's death and was very angry. Xiao Han had caused a big disaster in Xianshu City, but eliminating the wolf bandits was also a way to atone for his sins. But he didn't expect that he would kill Douluo. Emperor Ziyi also knew that Douluo had intercepted Xiao Han on the day the Soul Master competition ended, and the two became enemies because of this. The Soul Master world has its own rules, and strength determines everything. In this world where the strong are respected, even the Emperor cannot interfere in the conflicts between Soul Masters. Xiao Han's strength is no longer what it used to be. With him, Xianshu College has developed into a more powerful force. Emperor Ziyi was also very troubled and could only put pressure on Xiao Han to restrain his behavior. He once again sent Zuking, who had a good relationship with Xiao Han, to Xianshu City to have a face-to-face meeting with Xiao Han. After Xiao Han met Zuking, he told him about his encounter with Yu Xiaogang and Liu Erlong on the streets of Xiandao City. Zuking then realized that the news was released by Yu Xiaogang. Moreover, through talking with Xiao Han, he learned that Yu Xiaogang had a close relationship with Pope Bibi. I didn't expect that Yu Xiaogang would be so scheming and deliberately spread the news. Your Majesty had to put pressure on you. Xiao Han smiled disdainfully. Yu Xiaogang is a hypocritical villain. If I wasn't worried about the people around me being retaliated by Bibi, I would have killed him long ago. Zuking frowned. You said that there is an unknown relationship between Yu Xiaogang and the Pope of the Spirit Hall. Bibi. Is that true? Absolutely true. Xiao Han nodded affirmatively and continued. Yu Xiaogang seems gentle and elegant, but he is actually insidious and cunning. He will do anything to achieve his goals. He and Bibi were lovers, but later separated for some reasons. But as far as I know, Bibi still has deep feelings for him. Yu Xiaogang may use this to stir up trouble. Zuking was silent for a moment, thinking secretly in her heart. As Jinring Su, she has never admitted that Bibi is her mother. She knows very little about Yu Xiaogang's past. Unexpectedly, Yu Xiaogang has such a connection with Bibi. She doesn't understand why a woman as strong as Bibi would fall in love with a waste like Yu Xiaogang. At this point, Xiao Han felt that it was time to clarify Zuking's identity. While Zuking was thinking, Xiao Han suddenly said, Brother Zhu, I will call you one last time. What do you mean? Zuking was stunned. Xiao Han continued, to be honest, I know that you are not the real Zuking, but a member of the Spirit Hall, right? As soon as these words came out, the atmosphere in the whole room froze instantly. Zuking's face changed slightly, but soon returned to normal. Brother Xiao Han, it turns out that you already knew my true identity. That's right, I am Jinring Su, the daughter of Jin Zunji, the former Pope of the Spirit Hall. Since we are honest with each other, there is no need to beat around the bush in the future. Jinring Su smiled slightly. I'm curious, when did you know my true identity? Not long ago? Did the fifth worshipper Guangling Douluo tell you? Xiao Han smiled and did not answer, which was considered as tacit agreement, otherwise it would be difficult to explain. Jinring Su continued, since you know my true identity, You should also know that I have been lurking in the Xiandao Imperial Palace since I was a child in order to implement the plan of the Spirit Hall. Well, I am very curious, how did you disguise yourself as a man and stay in the Xiandao Imperial Palace for so many years without revealing any flaws? The swan spirit of the Xiandao Imperial family is similar to my angel spirit, and with the disguise technique brought to me by the spirit bone, it is not difficult to do this. I see. You must have experienced a lot of unknown hardships in hiding under the skin of Zhu King for so many years. Xiao Han's words touched Jin Ringsu. Indeed, in order not to be wiped out by Bibi and for the plan of the Spirit Hall, she endured humiliation and lurked in the Xiandao Empire for many years. Only she knew the bitterness of it best. Fortunately, her plan is developing in the predetermined direction, and it won't take long to take over the power of the Xiandao Empire. I heard that you are at level 20 of the innate soul power. Wearing the skin of Zhu King must have affected your cultivation. Yes. If it weren't for the fairy grass you gave me, I might not have broken through level 60 until now. Jin Ringsu changed the subject. Speaking of the fairy grass, I really want to thank you. The fairy grass you gave me is really amazing. After breaking through level 60, the speed of soul power improvement has not slowed down but increased. Now it has reached level 68. I feel that I will soon break through level 69. That's great. Maybe it's because, with the improvement of your soul power, the fairy grass has a better medicinal effect and complements your martial soul. Xiao Han suddenly thought of something and was a little excited. By the way, what do you think about the upcoming 7th soul ring? What do you mean? I think that with your talent and conditions, you can absorb a 100,000-year soul ring as the 7th ring. A 100,000-year soul ring. Jin Ringsu widened her eyes and felt incredible. Chapter 142 Soul Hunting Plan. 100,000-year soul beasts are extremely rare. They are powerful and secretive, and you can't find them just by looking for them. Moreover, although obtaining a 100,000-year soul ring can greatly improve your strength, the risks involved are also multiplied. Xiao Han, not everyone can have amazing luck and strength like you. To encounter a 100,000-year soul beast and absorb its soul ring as the 7th ring, Xiao Han smiled indifferently. Luck is sometimes really mysterious. However, regarding the 100,000-year soul beast, I am not talking about it out of thin air. I know a secret place where there are 200,000-year soul beasts in Xiao Wu. Xiao Wu? The 100,000-year soft bone rabbit? Do you know where she is? Jin Ringsu was surprised and happy. Xiao Han nodded. Yes. It's that rabbit. They are in the core circle of the Star Dao Great Forest. To be honest, I am trying to break through the bottleneck of level 80. It is possible that we can break through at the same time, so we can go hunting soul beasts together. After hearing this, Jin Ringsu's eyes flickered, and she was obviously touched by this proposal. She knew that since Xiao Han proposed such a plan, he must have a certain degree of confidence and preparation. Moreover, for any soul master, the temptation of a 100,000-year soul ring is irresistible, let alone a soul master like her with great ambitions. Xiao Han, your proposal is very bold and tempting. But we still need to act cautiously. It is not so easy to deal with 200,000-year soul beasts at the same time. Of course, I will not joke with our lives. Therefore, we need the help of the Spirit Hall, at least a few titled Douluo level masters. I would like to ask the teacher to come out. Jin Ringsu nodded gently. If the 5 worshippers of Light Feather Douluo personally go out to deal with the 200,000-year soul beasts, it will indeed be more certain. Then it is decided. We all hurry up to practice, strive to make a breakthrough as soon as possible, and then go to hunt the 200,000-year soul beasts together. Okay, Jin Ringsu suddenly thought of something, and a smile appeared on her face. I'm a little confused. You are from the Heaven Dao Empire, and I am from the Spirit Hall. My plan is to seize the power of the Heaven Dao Empire. Don't you care about this at all? Xiao Han smiled indifferently. I know that the ultimate plan of your Spirit Hall is to unify the entire Douluo continent and bring peace to the world. There have been constant conflicts between the two empires for many years. The people in power are incompetent, and the people at the bottom are suffering. So, I support your plan to unify the Douluo continent and end all wars. After hearing Xiao Han's words, Jin Ringsu was deeply relieved. It's great that you can think like this. With the help of a strong man like you, I believe that our Spirit Hall's plan will succeed, of course. However, I have to remind you that Bibi also has her own thoughts. For you Xia Gang, she can do anything. Maybe she is planning to destroy the spirit hall or even the whole world. After hearing this, Jin Ringsu was shocked. What did you say? How could Bibi Dong have such an idea? She is the Pope of the Spirit Hall and has been committed to the development and growth of the Spirit Hall. Jin Ringsu frowned, obviously unwilling to believe Xiao Han's words. Although she was dissatisfied with Bibi Dong's control of the Spirit Hall, under Bibi Dong's leadership, the power of the Spirit Hall was indeed growing day by day, and its influence on the two empires was also growing. Xiao Han shook his head gently, and then said, "You and I know that Bibi Dong is not as simple as she seems. Her ambition and obsession are far deeper than we think. Xia Gang's influence on her is even more difficult to estimate. For Xia Gang, she would not hesitate to take a road of no return. For a broken relationship, is it worth it? Unless she is crazy." Jin Ringsu became more and more angry, and her face became uglier. Seeing this, Xiao Han sighed softly. "I know it's hard to accept, but don't underestimate a woman's determination for revenge. Stay alert." Xiao Han couldn't bring himself to talk about Jin Zhenji and Bibi Dong, fearing that it would subvert Jin Zhenji's image in Jin Ringsu's heart. If she knew about that, Jin Ringsu might understand why Bibi Dong was so crazy. Jin Ringsu was silent for a moment, then slowly said, "Xiao Han, you are right, that woman does have great ambitions, and even I almost died in her hands. No matter what she has in mind, I will stick to my beliefs and work hard for the future of the Spirit Hall and the peace of Douluo continent." "Very good, you have such determination and belief, you will definitely succeed. I think you can take action against Ziyi earlier and take down the Xiandao Empire first." Jin Ringsu nodded in agreement. "Your proposal is very good, I have long been tired of obeying him. After obtaining the 7th soul ring, I will start preparing for this matter. At that time, I hope you can lend me a hand." "No problem." Xiao Han's eyes were gentle and deep, and he smiled gently. "We have known each other for a long time and have cooperated well, but I have never seen your true face. I have always been curious about what kind of face is hidden under the mask of Zhu King. I wonder if you can let me see your true face." Jin Ringsu was slightly stunned when she heard this. "Xiao Han, do you know that in these years, only a few people have seen my true face, and each of them has a close relationship with me? Why do you have this idea?" Xiao Han shrugged and said with a smile, "Maybe it's because I think our relationship has surpassed that of ordinary partners. Moreover, I believe that true trust should not have any concealment or estrangement. Of course, if you don't want to, I won't force it." Jin Ringsu thought for a while and said, "Okay, I don't seem to have any reason to refuse you." After that, she turned around, slowly raised her hand, and gently took off the mask. Her long golden hair fell down in an instant, and the moment she turned her head, she revealed a majestic and beautiful face. Jin Ringsu is several years older than Xiao Han, but she looks like she is only in her early 20s. She has delicate facial features, fair and delicate skin, and an extraordinary temperament between her eyebrows. She has both the softness of a woman and the majesty of a king. The eyes that are usually hidden behind the mask are as bright as stars, as if they can see into people's hearts. Xiao Han looked at Jin Ringsu in front of him, and a flash of surprise flashed in his eyes, but he soon regained his composure. "As I expected, you are a great beauty." "Excuse me." Jin Ringsu put on the mask again, and her tone was a little more relaxed. She didn't expect that Xiao Han could face her true appearance so calmly. Xiao Han's determination and character are indeed extraordinary, because he has lived in a pile of beauties since he was a child, and there has never been a shortage of beauties around him. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 143, Disaster of Genocide. Xiao Han and Jin Ringsu agreed that they would both seize the time to practice, complete the breakthrough as soon as possible, and then go to the core circle of the Xingdao Great Forest together to hunt the two 100,000-year-old soul beasts. After Jin Ringsu returned to Xiandao City, she immediately arranged for her confidant reporter and Xiao Han's soul hunting plan to Grandpa Jin Daoliu, asking him to prepare in advance. Then, she began to concentrate on practicing. Xiao Han also planned to practice in seclusion for a period of time. He knew that Oscar's death would make Ning Rongrong very sad. He was worried that when he was practicing in seclusion, the people around him would be retaliated by Ningfengzi and others, so he wanted to do something for them to distract their attention. Before practicing in seclusion, Xiao Han sent an anonymous letter to the branch hall of the Wuhan Hall in Xianxia City. In the letter, he cleverly revealed the secret cooperation between the Xiandao City Lin Yi clan and the Kibaoliuli sect, and they were manufacturing a large number of hidden weapons with great lethality, such as this huge divine crossbow. Xiao Han knew that once such information fell into Bibi Dong's hands, it would inevitably attract her great attention. The Seven Treasure Glazed Tile sect has a close relationship with the Xiandao imperial family, and has two powerful guardian Douluo, who are regarded as a thorn in Bibi Dong's side. Although their auxiliary ability is strong, their attack power is weak. And now, they are trying to make up for the lack of attack power with hidden weapons, which is undoubtedly a huge threat to the Spirit Hall. Bibi Dong will not watch them become more powerful. She will take action against the Power Clan and cut off the supply of those hidden weapons. Spirit City, Pope's Palace. Bibi Dong looked at the anonymous letter in her hand, with a complex emotion flashing in her eyes. What a Seven Treasure Glazed Tile sect, actually secretly hoarding a large number of weapons with great lethality. Tang Sen, I really underestimated you. I didn't expect you to be quite talented in making weapons. The Power Clan? A former branch of the Haoshan sect and an enemy of the Spirit Hall. It's even more impossible to keep them now. However, who wrote this anonymous letter? Could it be Xiao Han? It's really getting more and more interesting. Bibi Dong immediately sent someone to secretly investigate the truth of this matter. Half a month later, the news came. The Power Clan was indeed mass-producing weapons for the Seven Treasures Glazed sect, and that person also seized as huge divine crossbow. Bibi Dong was a little surprised when she saw the well-made huge divine crossbow. After testing its lethality, Bibi Dong was even more shocked. A small huge divine crossbow actually had amazing lethality, which was too threatening to ordinary soul masters. Bibi Dong couldn't stand it for a moment, and immediately gave orders to the two elders, Juanji Yui, two elders, the Power Clan of Xiandao City is now handed over to you. Remember, do it cleanly and don't leave any handles. Yes, Your Majesty. The two elders, Juanji Yui, led a group of masters and rushed to Xiandao City. On a dark and windy night, countless men in black airdropped into the residence of the Power Clan, killed 200 or 300 people including the clan leader Titan, and destroyed a large number of semi-finished huge divine crossbows. The Power Clan was exterminated overnight, which quickly caused a huge sensation in Xiandao City. The clan leader, Titan, is a level 86 strong attacking soul Douluo. The entire Power Clan has more than 200 direct clan members, most of whom are middle-aged and young soul masters. Such a force should not be underestimated. Moreover, it is in the capital of the empire. But even so, they were exterminated overnight. It is conceivable how powerful the opponent is. When Emperor Zhu learned about this, he was furious. The extermination of the Power Clan is not only a provocation to the Xiandao Empire, but also a serious threat to the security of the empire. Emperor Zhu immediately ordered the scene to be blocked and sent someone to investigate. Ningfengzi was filled with grief and anger when he learned about the extermination of the Power Clan. The demise of the Power Clan not only means that they have lost an important ally, but also means that those hidden weapons with great lethality will not be able to be replenished in time. This is undoubtedly a heavy blow to the Seven Treasures Glazed sect. Ningfengzi hurried to Xiandao City, and entered the dilapidated residence of the Power Clan with Yu Gang, trying to find clues from the ruins and uncover the truth of this tragedy. Yu Gang looked around at the ruins, and a trace of grief flashed in his eyes. He knew that the Power Clan had already recognized Tang San as the young master. Moreover, Tai Long, the grandson of Tai Tan, was once a member of the Shrek Academy team. Yu Gang couldn't imagine that more than 200 members of the Power Clan were killed overnight. He whispered to Ningfengzi beside him, "This method is clean and neat, leaving no trace. Apart from the Spirit Hall, I can't think of anyone else who can do this." Ningfengzi's face was gloomy, and he nodded, his eyes full of pain. "Yes. On the way to Xiandao City, I had already guessed that it was them." The two looked at each other. Ningfengzi sighed lightly. "Although we suspect it was the Spirit Hall, we have no direct evidence. The Spirit Hall has always acted cautiously, and this time is no exception. The demise of the Power Clan may be related to the creation of those hidden weapons. I harmed them, no." Sect Master Ning, the Power Clan was originally a branch of the Haoshan sect. This may also be an act of revenge by the Spirit Hall, Then why did they take action at this time? I'm not too sure about this. Let's report this news to His Majesty as soon as possible. Afterwards, the two reported their analysis of the incident and their suspicions about the Spirit Hall in detail to Emperor Zuyi. After hearing this, Emperor Zuyi frowned, unable to hide his anger. The Spirit Hall is getting more and more arrogant. What on earth do they want to do? Emperor Zuyi slammed his fist on the table, his eyes flashing with determination. The Spirit Hall's move is undoubtedly a provocation to the authority of the Xiandao Empire. The Power Clan is right under my nose, and they have suffered such a disaster. I can't sit idly by. Your Majesty, calm down. This time, they came prepared and destroyed all the evidence. We have to think about this matter in the long run. Your Majesty, Sect Master Ning is right. I think that while investigating the truth of the matter, we should also strengthen the defense of the Empire to prevent such incidents from happening again. Emperor Zuyi nodded in agreement. Sect Master Ning, the Spirit Hall may also be coming for you. I will also provide the highest level of protection for the safety of the Seven Treasures Glazed Tile Sect, and will never let the Spirit Hall's conspiracy succeed. Thank you, Your Majesty. After the three of them finished discussing, Yu Xiaogang and Ning Fengzi left the palace with heavy hearts. Ning Fengzi was worried that the Spirit Hall would be detrimental to the sect. Yu Xiaogang thought of Tang San again. In the past year or so, there had been no news about Tang San, and Yu Xiaogang didn't know how he was doing now. If Tang San came back and learned that the Li clan had been exterminated, he would definitely be very sad. Chapter 144 Tang San, I'm okay again. Meanwhile, on the other side, in a deep mountain. After more than a year of special training, Tang San has a deeper understanding of the use of the clear sky hammer. Tang Hao looked at the grown-up Tang San in front of him, his eyes full of satisfaction. He knew that it was time to uncover that dusty history and let Tang San understand the true identity of his mother and everything that their family had to bear. Xiao San, follow me. Tang Hao led Tang San through the roaring waterfall and came to a hidden stone chamber. The stone chamber was simple but full of traces of time, as if every inch recorded the story of the past. Xiao San, haven't you always wanted to know about your mother? Today I will tell you. Tang Hao's voice echoed in the stone chamber, with a hint of imperceptible sadness. Your mother is not a human, she is the incarnation of the 100,000-year-old soul beast Blue Silver Emperor. Her name is Yin. Tang San had long known that his mother was not a human, but he was still a little shocked when he heard Tang Hao's words. Then, Tang Hao told the past. Tang San quietly listened to Tang Hao's story about his relationship with Blue Silver Emperor Yin, and learned about his life experience and the experiences of his parents. Dad, it turns out that you and Mom have experienced so many ups and downs, and it was that damned Spirit Hall that separated you. Xiao San, the Spirit Hall owes us a debt, and we will get it back sooner or later. As Tang Hao spoke, he pointed to a small mound in the corner of the stone room. There grew a blue-silver grass there. It was different from ordinary blue-silver grass, with faint golden lines on its leaves, which flickered softly in the weak light. Xiao San, that is the last trace left by your mother, her last trace of vitality, turned into this blue-silver grass. Yin, our child has grown up, I brought him to see you. Tang Hao's voice was low and affectionate. Hearing this, Tang San's eyes were slightly red. Dad, is this my mother? Yes, Xiao San, kneel down and kowtow. Tang San knelt down respectfully in front of the blue-silver grass and kowtowed 3 times. The blue-silver grass seemed to have some sense, and it stretched out madly, and soon wrapped Tang San up. Tang Hao was very excited when he saw this. Yin, is that you? Are you really back? Tang San was also very excited, and he calmed down to feel the care of the blue-silver grass, as if he was lying in his mother's arms. After a long time, the extended blue-silver grass slowly dissipated and returned to its original appearance. After sorting out his emotions, Tang Hao said, Xiao San, get up. Tang San stood up and saw Tang Hao handing over an ancient wooden box. Xiao San, this is a gift from your mother. She hopes that you can become stronger and protect everything you love. Dad, what's in it? Open it yourself. Tang San took the wooden box and opened it gently. Inside was a soul bone emitting a faint blue light. Judging from its shape, it was a right leg soul bone. Tang San was surprised and happy, his hands trembled slightly, and his heart was filled with unprecedented excitement. He could clearly feel that the soul bone radiated an extremely powerful energy. Moreover, that powerful energy made him feel comfortable, and seemed to fit perfectly with his blue-silver grass martial spirit. Dad, what is this? Xiao San, This is from your mother's soul bone. 100,000-year right leg bone, mom's soul bone. Tang San was stunned. Dad, this is 100,000-year soul bone. After absorbing it, it can greatly improve your strength. That way you will be more confident in the martial spirit hall. Why do you, Xiao-san? Your mother has already sacrificed her soul ring to me. This soul bone is a gift she specially left for you. You should absorb it now, okay? Then, Tang San sat cross-legged, took a deep breath, and began to absorb the 100,000-year soul bone. As the energy in the soul bone merged, Tang San's body seemed to be wrapped by a warm power. Time passed by minute. After absorbing the soul bone, Tang San stood up, feeling the surging power in his body and the new changes brought by the martial soul, and was pleasantly surprised. Xiao-san, how do you feel? Tang Hao asked with some anticipation. Dad, it's amazing. My soul power has directly broken through the bottleneck of level 50, and my martial spirit has awakened for the second time, Tang San said, and released his blue-silver grass martial spirit. The blue-silver grass martial spirit has changed. On the originally ordinary blue-silver grass, golden lines emerged, like the blood of an emperor, flowing with nobility and power. It looks thicker and tougher. Obviously, the blue-silver grass is no longer an ordinary plant, but has evolved into the blue-silver emperor, exuding a faint majesty and vitality. This is the power brought by your mother, the blue-silver emperor. Your martial spirit has evolved into the blue-silver emperor. Yes, Dad. And I have the 5th soul ring and the 5th soul skill directly. The 10,000-year soul ring on Tang San's body suddenly flashed, and the blue-silver overlord spear was released. Seeing this, Tang Hao was surprised. Yin, are these all the gifts you gave to Xiao-san? Dad, not only that. I also have the blue-silver domain, and the spirit bone has brought me powerful self-repair and flight abilities. That's great. Xiao-san, your strength has made a qualitative leap. Tang Hao looked at Tang San, his eyes full of pride. Tang San was also full of confidence. Previously, in the Spirit Master competition, he was repeatedly beaten by Xiao Han, and when he met a Fire Spirit Master, he also suffered a few defeats. But now the situation is different. The blue-silver grass martial spirit has evolved into the more tenacious blue-silver emperor. With a first 10,000-year spirit skill and a 100,000-year spirit bone, his overall strength has greatly improved. He believes that if he meets Xiao Han again, he will not be afraid. Tang San suddenly thought of something, looked at Tang Hao, and said excitedly, Dad, I know a place that may allow Mom to grow hundreds or even thousands of times faster. Hearing this, Tang Hao was also a little excited, his eyes flashing with anticipation. Really? Where is it? It's in the center of the Sunset Forest, where Senior Douluo's medicine garden is located. The environment there is unique, and it has an unimaginable nourishing effect on various plants. But, at this point, Tang San frowned slightly. Xiao Han has also set foot in that area. I'm worried that he will become an uncertain factor. When mentioning Xiao Han, a hint of sharpness flashed in Tang Hao's eyes. Xiao-san, if there is really a place where your mother can grow quickly, I am willing to try. As for Xiao Han, you don't have to worry. In this world, there are not many people who can threaten me. If he really dares to show up, I will kill him. With me here, I will definitely protect your mother. Tang San's worries were slightly relieved. Dad, maybe I'm overthinking. With you and Senior Douluo here, Xiao Han doesn't dare to go there easily. Well, then let's go there first and take a look. If that place is suitable, we will come back to pick up your mother. Okay, the father and son immediately set off and headed for the Sunset Forest. Chapter 145 Tang San's mentality collapses. A few days later, Tang San and Tang Hao arrived at the Sunset Forest. They headed directly to the center of the forest. When they arrived at the center of the forest, Tang San suddenly stopped, frowning, and the uneasiness in his heart surged like a tide. The familiar and dangerous green phosphorus snake venom formation seemed to have evaporated at this moment, without a trace. Dad, something is wrong. Senior Douluo's green phosphorus snake venom formation is gone. Tang Hao also noticed the abnormality and his eyes became alert. Indeed, this is not in line with Douluo's style. He has always been cautious and would not easily withdraw his defense. We have to be careful. With a sense of foreboding, Tang San led Tang Hao straight to the yin-yang eye of ice and fire. When they arrived at the iconic inverted cone-shaped call, the sulfur smell and the fresh breath of spring water that should have filled the air were gone, replaced by a dull silence. Dad, here Here's not right either. There used to be hot air coming out of here, and there was a smell of sulfur. Tang San's voice was filled with anxiety that could not be concealed. He walked quickly to the place where the mist was supposed to be rising. Tang Hao followed closely behind him, looking around solemnly. It seems that we came at the wrong time. Something seems to have happened here, Dad. Let's go down and take a look. Well, be careful. The two jumped directly from the edge of the cliff. When they reached the bottom of the valley, the scene in front of them stunned Tang San. The once vibrant and colorful yin-yang eye of ice and fire was now only a pool of dead muddy water, surrounded by messy grass, and even the herbs transplanted by Douluo were nowhere to be seen. How is this possible? Tang San muttered to himself in disbelief, his eyes searching around, trying to find a trace of life or clues. Tang Hao carefully observed everything around him, and said in a deep voice, Xiao-san, there are traces of fighting here, and it is obvious that it was deliberately destroyed. Douluo may have encountered trouble, or, Tang Hao did not continue to speak, but Tang San understood the meaning of his father's unfinished words. A strong sense of worry and anger intertwined in Tang San's heart. He originally thought that after he became stronger, he would join forces with Douluo to get rid of Xiao Han. In that case, when the fairy grass in the yin-yang eyes of ice and fire grows again, he can use it. Moreover, if his mother can really get the nourishment of the yin-yang eyes of ice and fire, she can grow faster. But now, the yin-yang eyes of ice and fire have been completely destroyed, and the plans in his mind have been shattered. Tang San thought of Douluo and felt a little worried. Dad, I don't know what happened in the outside world in the past year or so. Who else in this world can pose a threat to Senior Douluo, except the Spirit Hall? Yes. You and I are thinking the same thing. It may be that someone from the Spirit Hall has been here. Is it because of us? Then the teacher and the others. Tang San was worried that Douluo had been retaliated by the Spirit Hall. Tang Hao patted Tang San on the shoulder and comforted him. Xiao-san, don't think too much. This place is not far from Xiandao City. We will know if we ask around. Yes. Then, the father and son left the Sunset Forest and headed towards Xiandao City. The destruction of the yin-yang eyes of ice and fire made Tang Hao and Tang San more cautious. Tang Hao guessed that after they disappeared from the square of the Pope's palace last time, the Spirit Hall must have sent people to look for them. The area around Shrek Academy may have been full of Spirit Hall spies. In order not to bring unnecessary trouble to Shrek Academy, Tang Hao and Tang San did not go to find Yu Zhigang after entering Xiandao City. They disguised themselves and came to Yuxun to find Tang Yuhua. Tang Yuhua was very excited to see Tang Hao again after so many years. The brother and sister exchanged a few simple pleasantries, and Tang Hao introduced Tang San to Tang Yuhua. Yuhua, this is my son Tang San. Xiao-san, come here and meet your aunt. Tang San was stunned for a moment, then stepped forward and bowed to Tang Yuhua. Tang San meets aunt. Good boy, I didn't expect you to be so big. Afterwards, Tang Hao chatted with Tang Yuhua for a while. From Tang Yuhua, the father and son learned that during the more than 1 year of their secret training in the mountains, several major events had occurred, and almost all of them were related to Xiao Han. They never expected that Xiao Han would reach the Soul Saint level in just over a year, and also have a 100,000-year soul ring. Tang San originally thought that after absorbing the 100,000-year soul bone left by his mother, the gap between him and Xiao Han had been shortened, but he didn't expect that he was still far behind Xiao Han. Knowing that Douluo and Oscar were both killed by Xiao Han, Tang San was furious. The annihilation of the Power Clan made Tang San feel devastated. Originally, in Tang San's plan, the Power Clan was the foundation for him to establish the Tang sect in this world. The Power Clan was good at casting and could make all kinds of Tang sect hidden weapons for him. They had already established a cooperative relationship with the Seven Treasures Glazed sect, but now, everything was ruined, and the plan to establish the Tang sect was also shattered. The only thing that made Tang San feel fortunate was that Xiao Han killed Davis and helped Dime Yubei ascend to the position of Crown Prince. Damn it! Xiao Han actually killed Senior Douluo and Xiao Ao? Tang San clenched his hands into fists, his nails piercing deep into his palms, but he seemed to feel no pain at all. In his heart, there was only endless anger and sadness surging. The annihilation of the Power Clan, the death of Douluo and Oscar, all of this was like a heavy boulder, pressing him so hard that he could hardly breathe. Tang Hao looked at his son, with a hint of complex emotions flashing in his eyes. Tang San's growth rate was already beyond ordinary people, But Xiao Han's growth rate was even more amazing. Xiao Han had reached the Soul Saint level and had a 100,000-year soul ring, greatly increasing his strength. Tang Hao originally planned to send Tang San to the Slaughter City for training, but after what happened, he changed his mind. Training in the Slaughter City can only improve murderous aura and combat experience, and the improvement of soul power will be seriously hindered. Tang San already has great hatred in his heart, and the power of revenge is enough to catalyze murderous aura. He now has a huge gap in soul power with Xiao Han. In order to deal with that powerful enemy, he must hurry up to improve his soul power. After the second awakening of the martial soul, Tang San's soul power will increase faster, and Tang Hao has confidence in him. Xiao San, since the tragedy has happened, don't be too sad. What you have to do now is to hurry up and improve your strength so that you can face a powerful opponent. I know, Dad. Tang San suddenly thought of Zhu King. Xiao Han killed the richest family in Xianxia City and the eldest Prince Davis of the Xingluo Empire. It was all the Prince Zhu King who dealt with such a big disaster. It seems that Xiao Han and Zhu King have an unusual relationship. Chapter 146 An Unexpected Discovery. Tang San had heard Douluo say before that the crown prince of the empire, Zhu King, was not as simple as he seemed. Under his approachable appearance, he had a wolfish ambition. The fourth Prince Zhu Bang was not as bad as he seemed, but he deliberately acted cynical in order to survive better in the palace. Douluo stood on the side of Prince Zhu Xing and the fourth Prince Zhu Bang, and was a potential threat to Zhu King. This made Tang San wonder whether there were other forces involved in Douluo's death besides Xiao Han. Tang San looked at Tang Yuho and asked, has anything important happened in the palace recently? Tang Yuho thought about it, then shook her head. It doesn't seem to be anything particularly important. Before, the Xingluo Empire negotiated with the royal family for a while because of Davis' death. But after Xiao Han came back from eliminating the wolf bandits, he made the truth of the matter known to the world, and the Xingluo side stopped. Recently, His Majesty sent people to investigate the extermination of the Lizzie clan. In fact, everyone knows that it was done by the Spirit Hall, but they just have no evidence. Tang Hao shook his head gently. Even if we know that it was done by the Spirit Hall, what can we do? With the strength of the Xiandao Empire, it is impossible to compete with the Spirit Hall. Tang San sighed and asked, do you know what His Royal Highness the Crown Prince has been doing recently? In the past 2 or 3 months, His Royal Highness the Crown Prince has rarely appeared. I don't know if he is in seclusion for training or for some other reason. After hearing this, Tang San felt more and more strange. He always felt that Zhu King seemed to be planning something. Tang Yuho suddenly said to Tang Hao, second brother, after so many years, don't you really plan to go back to the sect? Tang Hao sighed, his eyes were a little melancholy, and there were many frustrations in his heart. Back then, for a yin, he did not hesitate to compete with the Spirit Hall, seriously injured the former Pope Jin Zunji, and indirectly caused Jin Zunji's death. The Spirit Hall was angry with the Haoshan sect for this, and killed the Haoshan sect and its affiliated sects, causing heavy losses to the sect. Tang Hao also became a sinner of the Haoshan sect and was expelled from the sect. For many years, he has always been concerned about the sect, but he was burdened with guilt for the sect and had no face to go back. But now the situation is different. He saw the hope of reviving the Haoshan sect from Tang San. He believes that Tang San, who has the twin spirits of Blue Silver Emperor and Clear Sky Hammer, will definitely achieve more than him in the future. These 2 days, he is hesitating whether to take Tang San back to the Haoshan sect. After all, Tang San has the blood of the Tang family flowing in his body. Although he was expelled from the sect, Tang San was innocent. Practicing in the Haoshan sect, Tang San could make faster progress. Yuhua, I also want to go back to the Haoshan sect. However, you know that I am a sinner of the sect and I am ashamed of the sect. Second brother, you know what kind of people the eldest brother and the elders are. I believe that as long as you are willing to put down your face and admit your mistakes, they will definitely agree to let you return to the sect. What's more, Xiao San has such great potential, and his future achievements are immeasurable. Among the younger generation of disciples, who can compare with him? Even if you don't think about yourself, you should think about Xiao San and the future of the sect. Tang San stood aside, silent. He knew his father Tang Hao's temper. He always wanted to go to the Haoshan sect, which is known as the world's #1 sect, but he didn't dare to mention it in front of Tang Hao. Tang Hao's heart was a little shaken. Okay. Yuhua, I'll take Xiao San back to the sect. Great. Then I'll go back and say hello to my eldest brother and the elders. Okay, thank you for your hard work. It's not hard. As long as you can go back, I'm willing to do anything. Tang Hao and Tang San rested in Yuxuan for a day and left Xiandao City the next day. Before that, Tang Yuhu had already gone ahead. Not long after Tang Hao and Tang San walked out of Xiandao City, they suddenly felt that the atmosphere in front of them was a little unusual. Looking up, a group of people were moving slowly not far away. It looked like an ordinary convoy, but Tang Hao's keen perception told him that things were not simple. Xiao-san, look at that group of people. Tang San followed Tang Hao's gaze and looked nothing unusual at first glance, but when he used the purple extreme demon pupil to observe carefully, he couldn't help but frown slightly. Dad, they are all soul masters, and their cultivation is not low. Tang Hao nodded, his expression became more serious. That's right, there are 2 titled Douluo level masters among them. Such a lineup is definitely not something that ordinary people can have. The two looked at each other and had the same guess in their hearts. There must be an impressive background behind this team. Dad, it seems that they came from Xiandao City. And who else can send 2 titled Douluo at once except the Spirit Hall? You are right, they are very likely to have a close relationship with the Spirit Hall. Tang San thought about it and was terrified. Dad, the destruction of the Power Clan happened not long ago. Could it be related to them? I have some doubts too. Let's go and follow them and see. Considering the recent situation in Xiandao City, Tang Hao and Tang San hid in the woods on the side of the road, using the cover of the trees to quietly follow the team. Along the way, the team moved quite cautiously, and from time to time someone explored everywhere, obviously guarding against something. But it was not difficult for Tang Hao and Tang San to conceal their whereabouts, so they followed all the way without being discovered. As the team went deeper, Tang San became more and more curious. Dad, who do you think is in this car? Is it a noble or? Tang Hao shook his head, his eyes deep. I don't know, but to be escorted by such a powerful team of spirit masters, his identity must be extraordinary. We will follow to the destination and everything will be clear. Finally, at sunset, the team stopped in front of a hidden valley. Tang Hao and Tang San hid in the mountains and forests not far away, quietly observing. The people in the team dismounted one after another, and one of the titled Douluo level masters walked forward and respectfully lifted the curtain of the carriage. At that moment, Tang San was shocked. Because he saw that the person who walked out of the carriage was actually someone he didn't expect, Prince Zuking. How could it be him? Tang San exclaimed in a low voice, feeling unbelievable. Tang Hao also frowned, obviously surprised by the scene. It seems that the Prince of Xiandao is not a simple person. He must have an ulterior motive for traveling so secretly. Yes. What's even more strange is that he is accompanied by 2 titled Douluo level powerhouses and a group of masters. When did the Xiandao Empire have such a powerful spirit master configuration? Could they really be people from the Spirit Hall? It's possible. Perhaps Zhu King has already colluded with the Spirit Hall. Chapter 147 The Mysterious Blonde Woman. Tang Hao and Tang San looked at each other, and a sharp look flashed in their eyes. They decided to continue to follow Zhu King and uncover the secret behind this. After dawn, Zhu King and his group set off again, and Tang Hao and Tang San followed quietly, keeping a distance. As time went by, Tang Hao and Tang San found that the direction of Zhu King and his group became clearer and clearer, and they were heading towards the Stardao Great Forest. The Stardao Great Forest, as the most famous gathering place for soul beasts on the Douluo continent, is where countless soul masters obtain soul rings. Dad, they seem to be going to the Stardao Great Forest, Tang San whispered, and he had a vague guess in his heart. Tang Hao nodded, his face solemn, looking at their posture. They are probably going to hunt soul beasts. I just don't know what kind of soul beasts they want to hunt, and they actually need such a strong lineup. Tang San frowned and thought. Zhu King is the prince of the Xiandao Empire. His soul power level is not high. The soul beasts in the royal hunting ground are enough to make his soul rings, and he doesn't need to take the risk to go to the Stardao Great Forest to get them. He has 2 titled Douluo and a group of masters above soul saint level by his side, so why should he mobilize so many troops? Dad, I don't think it's that simple. Zhu King may have another purpose for this trip. Tang Hao nodded. They may not just go to hunt soul beasts. Dad, we have to continue to follow. If Zhu King really colluded with the Spirit Hall and attempted to harm the Xiandao Empire, we can't just sit back and watch. Yes, Tang Hao and Tang San continued to lurk in the dark, following Zhu King and his group to the Xingdao Great Forest. At the same time, on the other side, Xiao Han and Lin Zhiruo were also rushing to the Xingdao Great Forest. According to the agreement with Jinring Su, Xiao Han also practiced in seclusion for a period of time, and his soul power broke through the 80th level. After receiving the news that Jinring Su also broke through the 70th level, Xiao Han and Lin Zhiruo set out from Xianshu City and headed to the Xingdao Great Forest, preparing to meet Jinring Su there. Xiao Han knew that the Titan Giant Ape and the Azure Bull Python in the core circle of the starred out Great Forest were both overlord-like existences with strong strength. So this time, he only brought Lin Zhiruo, and did not bring Shui Binger and others, because their strength was not enough. Before setting off, Xiao Han had told Lin Zhiruo that the Crown Prince of the Empire, Zhu King, was pretended by Jinring Su. And he also told Lin Zhiruo about Jinring Su's plan to seize the power of the Xiandao Empire. Lin Zhiruo was shocked. However, if the peaceful reunification of the Douluo continent can really be achieved and there will be no more wars in the Douluo continent, Lin Zhiruo also supports Jinring Su's plan. Lin Zhiruo will stand by Xiao Han and support Xiao Han. Xiao Han's decision is her decision. The two talked as they walked. Lin Zhiruo said, "Xiao Han, I wonder if they are almost there. They should be. They started from Xiandao City, which is closer than us. However, we are traveling in simple clothes, so we will be faster. If nothing goes wrong, we can arrive at the agreed location at about the same time. Jinring Su should have brought a lot of people, yes. The two soul beasts in the center of the forest are both extraordinary, and one of them has the strength of nearly 200,000 years of cultivation." Xiao Han knew that Jinring Su had two titled Douluo-level strongmen, Snake Spear and Thorny Porpoise, but this was not enough to deal with the Titan Giant Ape and the Sky Blue Bull Python. In order to ensure that everything is foolproof, Xiao Han specifically reminded Jinring Su that in addition to Guangling Douluo, the worship hall must also send a titled Douluo-level strongman. Moreover, this matter must be kept secret and Bibi Dog must not know. The two continued to move towards the direction of the starred-out Great Forest. Tang San and Tang Hao followed the team that Zhu King was in and came to a corner of the starred-out Great Forest. After entering the forest, the team did not continue to move forward, but stopped. This aroused Tang San and Tang Hao's suspicion. Tang San said, "Dad, they look like they are waiting for someone." Tang Hao nodded, thinking, "It's getting weirder and weirder. Two titled Douluo-level masters and a group of masters. Such a team of soul masters is enough to hunt down 100,000-year soul beast. I don't know who they are waiting for and what they want to do." Just as the two were puzzled, a young woman with waist-length blonde hair got off the carriage. The woman was wearing a gorgeous yet simple long dress. The corners of her mouth were slightly raised, with a hint of majesty and nobility that could not be violated. The sunlight shone through the sparse treetops, dappled on her body, coating her with a layer of light brilliance. Her face was as delicate as if it had been carefully carved, and her skin was white and delicate, as flawless as the first snow. A pair of eyes that could see through people's hearts, revealing wisdom and determination that should not be underestimated in their depth. She exuded an invisible aura, an aura that combined nobility, wisdom and power, making people want to surrender involuntarily. Tang San and Tang Hao looked at each other, and a hint of surprise flashed in their eyes. Such a woman was obviously not an ordinary person. However, they had followed her all the way and had never seen that woman. Tang Hao was very confused. Who is she that could make Zhu King mobilize so many troops, or is she the real key person in this trip? Dad, don't you think it's strange? Zhu King is gone. Tang Hao frowned and remembered. Just now, my attention was on that woman. Or you observed carefully, Zhu King is indeed gone. At this time, Tang San had opened the purple demon eye and saw the woman's face clearly. He found that the blonde woman's demeanor and subtle movements were somewhat similar to Zhu King. This made him suspect that the blonde woman was Zhu King. However, he was also very confused. If this was true, how did the woman do it? Could it be that her disguise skills have reached such a terrifying level? Xiao San, what are you thinking about? Tang Hao's words interrupted Tang San's thoughts. Tang San said with a firm look, Dad, I suspect that the blonde woman is Zhu King. What? She is Zhu King. Strictly speaking, she is not the real Zhu King, but a disguised Zhu King. The real Zhu King is probably no longer alive. Tang San heard from Douluo that Zhu King had great ambitions, and even the previous prince might have died at his hands. If Zhu King was really the blonde woman in disguise, Douluo's previous speculation would make sense. Xiao-san, someone is coming. While Tang-san was thinking, Tang Hao suddenly reminded him. The two looked at the team at the same time, and suddenly found that a man and a woman were walking towards the team. Tang-san's pupils dilated instantly. The person coming was none other than Xiao Han, whom he hated the most. Walking side by side with Xiao Han was Lin Zhiruo. Chapter 148. Two Great Priests. Tang-san and Tang Hao hid behind the dense bushes, staring at Xiao Han and Lin Zhiruo who were walking towards Zhu Qing's team. Tang-san's heart was in turmoil. He didn't expect to meet Xiao Han here, and he didn't expect Xiao Han to be related to the mysterious blonde woman. Dad, it's Xiao Han and Lin Zhiruo. Tang Hao nodded gently, frowning, with a complicated light flashing in his eyes. Why are they here? Could it be? Tang Hao thought of the sky-blue bull python that could speak human language in the center of the forest. Dad, what's wrong? I guess they might be here for the 100,000-year-old soul beast in the core circle of the forest. The core circle of the forest, could it be them? Xiao-san, you also know that soul beast? Tang-san was stunned. Dad, I don't know if we are talking about the same soul beast. I once heard Xiao Wu say that her good friends Daming and Erming are soul beasts with cultivation of more than 100,000 years, and Aming's cultivation is close to 200,000 years. They all live in the core circle of the starred-out Great Forest and are the two overlords there. Human soul masters dare not trespass into their territory. Last time Tang-san and Xiao Wu were rescued by Tang Hao from the square in front of the Pope's palace. After Tang-san woke up, Xiao Wu was nowhere to be seen. Tang Hao told him at the time that Xiao Wu went to a safe place so that he could devote himself to cultivation. Therefore, Tang-san did not mention this matter later. It was not until now that the father and son talked about this topic. Tang Hao whispered, Xiao-san, we may be talking about the same soul beast. Dad, I have always wanted to ask you a question. Has Xiao Wu returned to the Stardao forest? Tang Hao nodded. I know you are worried about her. With the two overlords of the forest, she will be fine. But, Tang Hao's eyes suddenly flashed with a fierce look. If they are really going for those 200,000-year soul beasts, maybe we can take the opportunity to get rid of Xiao Han. Then let's wait and see what their purpose is. Tang-san instantly understood what Tang Hao meant. They could take advantage of those people's weakness in dealing with the 100,000-year soul beasts to attack Xiao Han. Xiao Han's growth is too amazing, which is a huge threat to Tang-san. Moreover, he seems to be on the side of the Spirit Hall, which is also a huge obstacle to their plan of revenge against the Spirit Hall. Therefore, if there is a chance to get rid of Xiao Han, they will do it. Tang-san and his son have been quietly observing Xiao Han and Lin Zhiruo. Due to the distance, they could only see the blonde woman take the initiative to come forward and say hello to them. Afterwards, the group walked into the depths of the forest, talking and laughing. Tang-san frowned, which further confirmed his guess. Dad, look, Zhu Qing just disappeared in that group of people, but there is a blonde girl. Well, that blonde girl is undoubtedly Zhu Qing. I wonder what the identity of that blonde girl is? Why did she disguise herself as Zhu Qing? Tang Hao's expression was solemn. No matter what her identity is, it is obviously extremely disadvantageous to the Xiandao Empire. If she inherits the throne of the empire as the prince, the entire Xiandao Empire will be controlled by her. And she has some kind of connection with the Spirit Hall, which is scary to think about. Yes. Fortunately we discovered the existence of the fake prince in time. No wonder he has been helping Xiao Han before. It turns out that they have been in cahoots for a long time. Tang-san suddenly thought of Ning Fengzi. The meticulous Ning Fengzi had known the fake Zhu Qing for many years, but did not realize that she was a girl. This disguise technique has really reached a superb level. Xiao-san, they are leaving. Let's follow them. Well, then, the father and son restrained their breath and continued to follow. Tang Hao and Tang-san followed closely behind Xiao Han and his group, keeping a hidden and cautious distance. They noticed that the team did not rush directly to the core circle of the forest as expected, and seemed to be choosing a suitable time or waiting for someone to arrive. The two titled Douluo level masters, as well as the many masters accompanying them, were extremely respectful to the blonde woman, almost to the point of obedience. Dad, the blonde woman's identity is extraordinary. To be able to make so many masters so odd, her status is probably even higher than Zhu Qing. Tang Hao nodded. Indeed, her identity is definitely not simple. Several days passed in a flash. The father and son lurked patiently, observing the team's every move. That day, a powerful soul power fluctuation suddenly broke the tranquility of the forest. Tang Hao whispered, Xiao-san, someone else is here, a titled Douluo-level master. Two figures suddenly landed in the team. Seeing their appearance clearly, Tang Hao's eyes froze instantly. He recognized that the two strong men were the fifth worshipper of the Spirit Hall, Guangling Douluo, and the seventh worshipper, Jiangmo Douluo. Xiao-san, it seems that our guess is correct. The relationship between the blonde woman and the Spirit Hall is far more complicated than we thought. Even the worshippers Guangling Douluo and Jiangmo Douluo showed up, which shows that the Spirit Hall attaches great importance to this operation. Two more titled Douluos have come. Tang San clenched his fists, and a trace of worry flashed in his eyes. Dad, what should we do? If they really attack Daming and Erming, then Xiao Wu, don't worry, follow them first and see what they are planning. Tang San's 100,000-year-old right leg bone gave him the ability to fly. Tang Hao was confident that if they were discovered, even if he was injured, he could take Tang San away safely. On the other side, in the team, Xiao Han saw Guangling Douluo and saluted him respectfully. Teacher, I finally see you again. Guangling Douluo smiled and said, Xiao Han, I have heard about you. I didn't expect you to have made such amazing progress in such a short time. I am proud of you, teacher. I have to thank you for this. If you hadn't saved me, I would have died in Douluo's hands. Moreover, you seriously injured Douluo, so we could have killed him. Guangling Douluo nodded with relief and looked at Jin Ringsu on the side. Miss, you and Xiao Han have known each other for many years. It's great that you trust and help each other. Guangling Douluo is loyal to the angel lineage. He was sincerely happy to know that Jin Ringsu's plan was getting closer and closer to success. Although Xiao Han did not explicitly express his intention to join the Spirit Hall, he has been helping Jin Ringsu. Guangling Douluo saw the future of the Spirit Hall from these two young people. The group continued to move towards the center of the forest. In order to successfully hunt down the two overlords in the center of the forest, Jin Daoliu did not hesitate to send two powerful priests. Jin Ringsu believed that their plan would succeed. Chapter 149 Two Cowards Found. Tang Hao and Tang San were hiding in the dark. Seeing that Guangling Douluo and Jiangmo Douluo were very respectful to the blonde woman, they became more confused about her identity. Tang Hao suddenly thought of something. Could that woman be from the Jin family? A descendant of Jin Daoliu? Dad, if she is really from the Jin family, then isn't she the young master of the Spirit Hall? Yes, it's very likely. They are about to set off. Let's follow them. Xiao Han and his group moved. This time they moved much faster and soon reached the core circle of the forest. Roar! A roar suddenly came from the front. Then, the entire ground shook. Feeling the violent power, everyone became alert. Xiao Han opened his spirit skull and detected forward. He guessed that the powerful force was most likely from one of the overlords in the center of the forest, the Titan giant ape. The roar of the giant beast was like thunder, shaking the surrounding trees and fluttering branches and leaves. Jin Ringsu and Xiao Han looked at each other, their eyes flashing with excitement and expectation. The target of this operation, the two powerful 100,000-year soul beasts, were about to appear in their sight. As the team continued to move forward, Xiao Han was suddenly startled and found something strange. He noticed that someone seemed to be following them from behind. Xiao Han did not turn around and whispered to Guangling Douluo beside him, Teacher, we seem to be followed. Well, I noticed it a long time ago. They are just two cowards. If they were really capable, they would not hide in the dark. Hunting soul beasts is important, don't worry about them. Guangling Douluo looked relaxed and didn't care about the two people hiding in the dark at all. The team continued to move forward. Tang Hao and Tang San, who were hiding in the bushes farther away, also heard the roar. Tang San was a little excited and a little worried. Maybe he would soon see Xiao Wu, whom he had always missed. But those people were obviously going after them, and Xiao Wu's situation became extremely dangerous. Dad, is that 100,000-year soul beast? Tang Hao nodded. We are getting closer and closer. If you really see Xiao Wu, don't get too excited, so as not to expose your aura and affect our plan. Yes, I know. The father and son hid in the dark and followed Xiao Han and his group as everyone approached cautiously. The scene in front of them gradually became clear, and an unprecedented sense of oppression came over them. In the center of the dense forest, a lake appeared. A huge monster suddenly came into everyone's sight. It was a huge soul beast. Its body was like a moving hill, with bulging muscles all over its body, shining with a metallic luster in the sun. Its eyes were like two burning fireballs, revealing an inviolable majesty and power. It squatted there, its legs like two huge stone pillars, steadily supporting its hill-like body. Xiao Han knew that this was the Titan ape. The Titan ape seemed to have anticipated the uninvited guests and waited here in advance. A powerful momentum burst out from it, and an invisible pressure filled the air. Faced with such a shocking scene, the group of people stopped involuntarily. Xiao Han looked carefully. On one shoulder of the Titan ape, there was a small figure gently embraced. It was Xiao Wu. Against the backdrop of such a giant beast, Xiao Wu looked extremely petite, like a fragile flower in nature. Gently protected by the giant Titan ape. Xiao Wu saw Xiao Han and his group, her face expressionless, her eyes revealing a bit of fierceness. In the previous Soul Master competition, Xiao Wu was severely injured by Xiao Han. It was also because of Xiao Han that her identity as a soul beast was exposed to the public. Moreover, Xiao Han also severely injured Dai Mu Bei, Ma Hongjin and others. What made her even more resentful was that Xiao Han repeatedly beat Tang San, not only physically but also psychologically, causing Tang San serious trauma. This made her unbearable. She never expected that Xiao Han would bring people here. When enemies meet, they are particularly jealous. This is the territory of the Titan ape and the Azure Bull Python. They will never show mercy to those who intrude. A cold voice suddenly sounded above everyone's head. Xiao Han, you actually brought people here. You owe Shrek a debt, and today I will let you pay it back together, so that you will never return. As soon as Xiao Wu finished speaking, the Titan ape roared again. This time it was no longer angry or a warning, but more like a declaration, declaring its absolute rule over this territory and its unquestionable protection of Xiao Wu. Xiao Han smiled disdainfully. Little rabbit, you don't have much ability, but you are very arrogant. Just relying on this 100,000-year-old soul beast? You underestimate us too much? Xiao Han looked around vigilantly. He knew that the Azure Bull Python was in that lake. That soul beast was more powerful than the Titan ape and was hiding in the dark waiting for an opportunity to move. Not far away, Tang San saw Xiao Wu through the purple demon eye and was excited when he heard Xiao Wu's voice. His heartbeat quickened, his hands clenched into fists, trying to restrain the urge to rush out to reunite with Xiao Wu. Tang Hao gently pressed his shoulders. Xiao San, we can't act rashly now. Xiao Wu is in danger, but she is protected by the 200,000-year soul beasts. Besides, this is their territory, she knows how to use the favorable terrain to protect herself. Tang San took a deep breath, forced himself to shift his attention away from Xiao Wu, and turned to observe the surrounding environment. His eyes shuttled through the forest, trying to find the trace of the Azure Bull Python, while analyzing the layout and weaknesses of Xiao Han and his group. At this time, the demon subduing Douluo and light feathered Douluo in that team were also ready. The other two titled Douluo stood on the left and right sides of the blonde woman. Xiao Han and Lin Zhiruo stood together. Xiao Wu, I will not let anyone hurt you again, Tang San silently made a vow in his heart. Xiao Wu's voice sounded again, Xiao Han, it's time to make a break. Today, none of you can leave here, you all have to die, Duming, Erming, kill them all, don't leave any of them alive. As Xiao Wu's voice fell, the sky suddenly darkened, dark clouds gathered, and a dull atmosphere instantly enveloped the entire forest. Puff! A loud noise suddenly came from the lake, and countless water splashed. A huge monster broke out of the water. The monster had a huge bull head, with a diameter of at least more than 4 meters. There was also a huge snake body that was black and blue, several times thicker than a water tank. The pair of eyes flashing with cold light, like two huge gems, coldly staring at everything below. You human soul masters. Dare to hurt Sister Xiao Wu, I will make you die. Everyone was shocked when they saw the soul beast with a bull head and a snake body, and spoke human words. Xiao Han knew that it was the Sky Blue Bull Python. The Sky Blue Bull Python's words were full of endless anger and murderous intent, as if announcing the impending destruction. HMPH, it's just a big snake, yet you dare to speak so arrogantly. The demon subduing Douluo snorted coldly, and a strong soul power fluctuation emanated from his body, and the panlong stick in his hand was released. Chapter 150, Battle against the Forest Overlord. Demon subduing Douluo has always been arrogant. However, he does have the capital to be arrogant. After all, His soul power has reached level 96, and he is a peak Douluo of the strong attack department. Looking at the azure bull python on the lake, Guangling Douluo's eyes flashed with excitement. He knew that this azure bull python was much more powerful than ordinary 100,000-year-old soul beasts. He moved his fingers slightly, and the Guangling divine bow in his hand was released, and the wings behind him gently spread out. Demon subduing, we haven't fought for a long time, leave the big snake to me, okay, then I'll go deal with that clumsy gorilla. Haha. Demon subduing Douluo's hearty laughter was simply a ruthless mockery to Xiao Wu and the two 100,000-year-old soul beasts. Xiao Wu was furious. Almost at the same time, Xiao Han also released his martial soul and soul ring, ready for battle. Seeing the 100,000-year soul ring blooming with red light, Xiao Wu was shocked and couldn't help but widen her eyes. How is this possible? Xiao Wu never thought that in less than 2 years, Xiao Han had already reached the soul saint level and had a 100,000-year soul ring. Not only that, Xiao Han's first soul ring had transformed from yellow to purple. Xiao Wu knew that it was not easy to do this. She thought that Xiao Han might have the ability to devour, which allowed the soul ring to complete its transformation. Seeing the 100,000-year soul ring on Xiao Han, the demon subduing Douluo, the light-winged Douluo, Jinring Su, the two titled Douluos beside him, and the masters of the spirit hall all widened their eyes involuntarily. Although they had long known that Xiao Han's seventh soul ring had reached 100,000 years, they were still shocked to see this scene with their own eyes. After all, Xiao Han was still so young, but he already had the 100,000-year soul ring that soul masters dreamed of. Without time to think about it, Xiao Wu roared, "Duming, Erming, do it. Kill them all." As soon as Xiao Wu finished speaking, the Titan giant ape and the sky blue bull python roared at the same time, shaking the earth. The momentum from the 100,000-year-old spirit beast seemed to tear the entire space apart. They moved and rushed towards Xiao Han and Jinring Su's group. The Titan giant ape's huge body, which was more than 15 meters high, crushed like a mountain. The azure bull python soared into the air and shuttled through the clouds, like a lightning dragon. "Let me test the strength of your big head ape," the demon subduing Douluo roared, holding the panlong stick, and went to the Titan giant ape. Xiao Han and Guangling Douluo went to the azure bull python at the same time. Snake spear Douluo and thorny porpoise Douluo stayed beside Jinring Su to guard against sneak attacks from behind. The two priests were eager to fight, and Lin Zhiruo was not in a position to intervene. She just stood aside and responded to the situation. Tang Hao and Tang San hid in the dark, watching the upcoming battle. Tang San clenched his hands into fists, his heart full of worry and anger. He wanted to rush out and fight side by side with Xiao Wu. But he knew that it was not the right time yet. He had to wait for an opportunity and look for a chance to kill with one strike. "Xiao San, don't be impatient," Tang Hao reminded in a low voice. "What we have to do now is to wait for the opportunity." Tang San nodded, took a deep breath, and tried to calm himself down. He knew that his father was injured, and those titled Douluo level masters were in their prime, so he had to be patient now. When they fought with the two 100,000-year-old soul beasts and consumed a lot of energy and were in poor condition, it would be the best opportunity to attack. On the other side, the battle between the two sides had already begun. The figure of the demon subduing Douluo shook, and the panlong stick in his hand seemed to come alive, and the red Xianxing holy golden dragon sealed in the stick body faintly shone. With the display of the seventh soul skill, the martial soul true body, all the attributes of the demon subduing Douluo were greatly improved at this moment, and the momentum suddenly increased, like a god descending to the earth. With a sudden flash of the sixth soul ring on his body, the sixth soul skill, the demon subduing panlong pillar, was activated. The clouds in the sky suddenly split apart, and a huge panlong stick phantom fell from the sky with the power of destroying the world. A red dragon was coiled around the stick, its eyes wide open, its roars resounding, and the powerful restraining force solidified the surrounding space. Facing this shocking blow, the Titan ape was not afraid, but roared even louder, with endless anger and power in the deafening sound. Its muscles were tense, as if every muscle contained explosive energy, and the ground was shaking under its feet, as if even the earth could not bear its anger. Just when the demon subduing Douluo was full of confidence and thought he could suppress the Titan ape, he suddenly felt an unprecedented invisible pressure enveloping his body. This force made his movement slow, as if he was bound by invisible shackles. Then, This pressure disappeared strangely, replaced by a sense of weightlessness. His body actually flew towards the Titan ape's mountain-like fist involuntarily. The demon subduing Douluo was shocked. He realized that the Titan ape was not only incredibly powerful, but also had the special ability to control gravity. At the critical moment, his fourth soul ring suddenly lit up, and his fourth soul skill, the dragon-shaped body protection, was activated instantly. A layer of light curtain formed by soul power appeared in front of him like a shield, shining and indestructible. Bang! The Titan giant ape's heavy fist slammed hard on the light curtain. The huge impact force made the light curtain tremble violently, but it finally withstood the blow. However, the recoil force also made the demon subduing Douluo fly backwards like a leaf blown by the wind. Demon subduing Douluo rolled several times in the air, and with his powerful strength, he adjusted his posture in the air and landed steadily. His face was solemn, but his eyes were burning with a stronger fighting spirit. What a Titan giant ape! I underestimated you. Come again. Demon subduing Douluo adjusted his posture and soared into the sky again. At the same time, on the other side, Xiao Han and Guangling Douluo also launched an attack on the Azure Bull Python. Guangling Douluo wanted to learn the skills of the Azure Bull Python alone, but he did not stop Xiao Han from fighting with him. He also wanted to see what kind of strength Xiao Han had. Both of them spread their wings, one on the left and one on the right, and pulled the bowstrings in their hands to full moons, and almost at the same time shot cold arrows at the Azure Bull Python. The arrows collided violently with the thick green scales on the Azure Bull Python, and the crisp sound echoed over the empty lake. The Azure Bull Python's scale defense, like a solid barrier, resisted the initial tentative attacks of the two. Its huge body shook slightly, and then opened its huge mouth. A strong green light gushed out of its mouth, like a green torrent, and suddenly dispersed. Xiao Han's eyes suddenly condensed. He knew that this was the Azure Bull Python's slow field. This skill can greatly slow down the opponent's movement speed in the field, and it will also limit mental strength and perception. Without any hesitation, Xiao Han quickly turned around and flew higher. As the red light of the 100,000-year soul ring bloomed, the weapon soul's true body was released, and the aura of the whole body suddenly surged. Friends, a new book Douluo, Wuhan Magic Harp, Summoning Ancient Divine Beasts has been released. Come and try it out. This book is updated normally, and 2 books are updated at the same time. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.